Hello, one and all. Glad you are able to join us for another Saturday of Blue Otter action. The Premier League playoffs continue tonight with the upper bracket final between two-time regular season winners Team Solo Invade and the defending champions Elysium. Before we get into the gameplay, it is of course time for your regularly scheduled yapping session, also known as Otter Talk. My name is Crewman, joined by the cerebral Mr. Storm for the call. How are you feeling about today's matchup, Storm?
I'm really excited for this week's matchups. Not just today, but tomorrow. I think we're going to get some real bangers heading into these upper and lower bracket finals.
Absolutely, absolutely. We would not have it any other way. Hopefully, we do indeed get those bangers. But of course, we've got some lovely guests here to tell us all about it. If our guests would like to introduce themselves, team or IGN, team, role, and I guess what you've been enjoying playing recently in Arena, if applicable.
I'll go first. I'm CZI, tall from Elysium, and I only play Bravery because,
Nice.
I like to be punished sometimes.
Yeah,
That's
RJ,
crazy.
you up next?
Hello, I'm RJ, the starting bot laner for TSI.
Excellent, excellent. And then how's Arena been going for you?
We are managing.
Okay, sounds good. Last but not least.
I'm Aguri. I am a sub for TSI. And I am also a huge fan of Bravery, but I always love smacking down with the tank. Get me on a Mundo. That's too much fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm glad everybody's been enjoying the Arena gameplay, but of course, it's time to start discussing the Summoner's Rift game. Just like last week, I'd like to start out with a little bit of a review of those previous playoff matches that we just saw last week. We had our first elimination series. We did have to say goodbye to the Spire. They did end up getting swept by Omega 3-0. And we also had a very, very close bang. I believe it was a reverse sweep for Dorado, where they were able to come back and take down the Literal Monkeys 3-2. Storm, we were obviously casting that one. As you reflect on that Omega 3-0, what were your big takeaways from that?
The big takeaways from that was the Spire had problems and they did not fix them. I think really well. Saren on those like ADC mids, like the Ezreal, definitely had like some Korean in them for that game. That was a fantastic showing for them. So I think like Omega stocks are definitely rising. I think they're doing really well. I have some worries for them as the playoff series continues, but I think they're proved that they're still like a good team and that they are a playoff ready team. I think the bigger worry is kind of like Dorado. I think a lot of people, myself included, really thought Dorado was going to show up in playoffs and be kind of a dark horse to win it. And a reverse sweep against the Monkeys, who I thought they were going to get like a pretty easy 3-0 against, is not really how I want to be starting that. So a little bit of doubt creeping in on me from that series.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as our guests here are concerned, CZI, do you have a chance to watch that series? Or either of those series?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I thought the Monkeys one, like, I'm not a Dorado hater. I've played for them before. But the Monkeys, I was really like, I really wanted to see that. That was getting really lit. But I don't know. TSI, ever since they lost to us during regular season, they just like decided to just throw the rest of the league, and it was just really funny to see, honestly. Right? Yeah, the Spire, my fault, the Spire. And it's just really funny to see because it's like they were hyped like as much as like TSI was last split early on.
Yeah.
And then they just decided to not be hyped anymore. So it was really funny to see. But maybe they'll get it next time or not.
Send them into a bit of a tailspin, I guess. Perhaps that is kind of how it went down. Certainly, it's an easy conclusion to draw, I think. It's definitely a shame they weren't able to kind of turn things around before they did make their exit there last week. But RJ, any thoughts on either of those matches from last week?
I guess more than anything was, I think the big surprise that the Dorado series went to all the game 5s, and the gameplay of Dorado wasn't as crispy as it was at the ending of the regular season. That was like the most surprising of them all.
Augury, any thoughts on those matchups from last week?
I was not able to catch the Dorado versus the Monkeys, but the Omega versus Spire, I was impressed at how Omega showed up. I expected the Spire to be able to hold more defense, but it was a much cleaner 3-0 than I was expecting. I'm excited to see what Omega is going to be able to pull out.
Yeah, definitely. As already mentioned, Saren busting out the Ezreal was for sure a bit of a surprise. I know he's still hoping to bust out the Fizz at some point as well. We'll see if that is going to end up making an appearance on the Rift when he has the opportunity tomorrow. But yeah, definitely Omega looking pretty solid in their match last week, looking very controlled, I would say, in that win. But let's go ahead and transition now into some predictions for this weekend's matchups. We go ahead and move on over to our prediction graphic. Here we go. So obviously, Storm and I, we've combined for the predictions this time around. Storm, if you'd like to lead off with your thoughts on this first series, today's matchup between Elysium and TSI.
Yeah, so I was talking about even last week. I was really, really excited to see this one coming up. I think both of these teams are really, really good. I think this series will be close. I'm surprised that there's only one prediction for Elysium to be coming through. I don't know about yours, Crewman. I guess we'll get to yours next. But I think Elysium has a lot of really great pieces together, and obviously a lot of your players have been playing together for such a long time. CZI, right? That kind of core of Dilly, Arrow, and Gus, right, have been playing forever together. And you and Watercat have both been around for a very long time as well. I don't think it's quite to that point, but I kind of recognize you guys for like as long as I've been involved in these leagues, which I think is approaching like 5 years now. So there's a lot of like veterancy on this roster, but I just think like TSI for like the actual just like clutch factor and kind of the thing I would say of like that like moment of I'm gonna win the series with this flash ult play or something. While Gus does have a lot of that and has shown it up when playing the Amumu or playing like Silas and stealing those Amumu ults and stuff like that, I feel like TSI overall have like a higher ceiling maybe than your team does. I think Elysium definitely has the higher floor. That like if both teams are like just showing up and they're just playing like their standard way, I think Elysium's the better team. But I think when it's like the clutch up time, the game 5 moment is when I would be taking TSI, which is why I favor them in this series. I especially think having like MBK is such a huge boom for TSI in the mid lane. I'd say he's probably the best player in Premier. And it's kind of hard to argue for me in my own head against you pick the team with the best player on it.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a pretty fair take, Storm. I actually, though, am predicting the 3-2 for Elysium tonight. I do think it's going to 5. I think both teams have shown really strong performances, and there's, as you said, really strong players on both of these rosters. But I actually have kind of the reverse perspective in terms of I would, identify Elysium actually as the big game players, the players that actually come out clutch in the situations where it really matters the most, as opposed to you saying Team Solo Invade kind of have that clutch factor. I would actually give the edge to Elysium in that regards. That's kind of the basis for my prediction. Last season as well, I'm remembering how Team Solo Invade were like almost definitively the strongest team for like that entire season until they got to the semifinals and got swept by Elysium on Elysium's way to the championship. And I just have a feeling that history is going to repeat itself. I do think it's going to be closer this time around. It was a sweep last time for Elysium. Tonight, I think we're going to 5. That's my prediction, but that's where my thoughts on the matter lie. Let's hear from RJ next. Obviously, you were on that TSI roster last season that did end up getting swept in that semifinal. As you reflect on what happened last season and your thoughts going into this matchup tonight, what do you feel like went wrong for you guys before, and then what do you think has changed between last season and now, where you might be able to write a different ending to the story?
I mean, very obviously we have a new top laner, a new jungler. Um, they have been performing a lot better prior to the counterparts in playoffs. I'm not throwing any shade at Leash on SK because they were great in regular season, but then in playoffs, I feel like everyone just lowered the level just very marginally. And secondly, I think we were playing for the wrong carry. They were playing for this loser in the bot lane, but now that we have NBK just going Super Saiyan, we should be just fine.
Okay. So we're eyes on mid lane tonight, is what you're telling us.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, we had Storm, just a moment ago as well, singing the praises of NBK, and I guess we'll get to it in a moment. But Watercat there on Elysium, definitely no slouch. I guess that's a good time to transition over to you, CZI. Thoughts on you? I do believe we're not on that Elysium roster last season,
Nah,
correct?
I was on Conduit and we made finals too.
That's
So
right. That's right. Well,
but,
any reflections that you have on, your team's performance from last season and how you're feeling going into this matchup against TSI tonight? Then if you want to, weigh in on this mid lane matchup as well, please feel free.
well, last split, us making finals was crazy to be honest with you, but that's besides the point. It felt weird because we had like an awful ADC, and I don't even remember who our support was. Uh, no shit at them. I just don't remember. It's a long time ago. I'm a top laner. The mid matchup is interesting. MBK is he's been playing good everywhere. Like it's quite crazy to be honest with you. But from what RJ's saying, and I'm jotting it down in my notes, it's sounding like camp mid all night, and it should be barbecue chicken. So I'm gonna type that to my boys, and then we'll make sure that happens. So it should be easy peasy lemon squeezy, and then y'all have to work your way up from the bottom to come back up and play us again. So.
All right. I mean, I'm sure RJ is not showing all of his cards. Maybe the highlight on mid lane is just a diversion, and he's going to be the real carry. We don't know for sure. I'm sure he's going to steal all the secrets. We'll see. But let's, of course, now hear from you, Aguri. My pronunciation, is it correct there, by the way, Aguri? Or is it
Close enough. I call it Aguri. Slight difference in
Aguri.
enunciation, but it's close enough. I mean, it was random gibberish I typed ages ago, so any pronunciation I'll take.
Fair enough. Well, you were, of course, you're the substitute, as you mentioned, but you're the substitute mid laner, I believe, specifically, right? And you were playing earlier this season. I remember you had a few really nice performances for the team. So certainly, interested to hear your thoughts on this matchup between Watercat and NBK, and just general expectations heading into the upper bracket final tonight.
Well, I mean, I think it's going to be a banger. I'm always, to the dismay of many a caster, I always love seeing 5 games.
I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it.
But I think TSI is going to show up more. That was funny. Same position as last season. Last season, I was substitute, watching from the sidelines. Last season, I was hoping I would get a chance to game in. This season, I'm hoping NBK takes it all the way.
Nice. Yeah, it'll definitely be exciting to see. NBK has absolutely been some stellar form recently, no doubt about it. Storm, any other final thoughts on this matchup? And then we can transition, I guess, into tomorrow's matchup.
No, I think this should be a good series overall. I think there's a lot of flexibility in both these teams. Like, as much as we're like kind of joking around and highlighting this mid matchup, there is like plenty of options available. Smoke does play like these Dariuses and sets and stuff in the top lane. CZI has played some potent counter picks as well. So it's not just like we're focusing on one match and this is going to be 5v5 straight up team fights. This is fearless best of 5. So weird stuff can be coming out, and I'm kind of expecting it from both these teams. I'm expecting the draft to be really interesting, and I'm hoping we see some of these more pocket picks come out.
Yeah, definitely. We hadn't really talked about the draft yet at all, but Storm, do you feel like either one of these teams has like an advantage, given the full Fearless format? Do you feel like either side has some deeper pockets in terms of those Fearless champion picks later on in the series?
I think one of the major benefits for Elysium is that they have like certain picks that have been permabanned basically against them the entire season, whether that's, Arrows, Ivern, Watercat sometimes draws bans from their Zoe mid, just things like that. And you Dilly has that really amazing Jinx in his back pocket always. So there's tons of things I think that like probably need to stick on the ban table in the first round phase unless there's some sort of like counter prepared for them from the side of TSI. So I think that's a small advantage they have. But I will say I think there's like more potent counter picks for the side of TSI. Um, you know, while CZI does have stuff in his champion pool, like the, Mordekaiser and the Mbessa and things like that, and Jack, even some Jacks and Mbessa games, I don't think they have quite as much like time dedicated to it as Smoke does have on some of those more potent counter picks like the Darius and the Set, like I had mentioned. So I think there's possibilities for TSI, but like I said, I think there's a little bit of an advantage for Elysium just because I think they have so many things that need to be respected in terms of pick and ban.
Absolutely makes sense. And then I did want to go back really quickly, actually, and mention your support from last season CZI was Ipsy.
Oh, it's my dog, bro. I forgot. I'm thinking about something different. I'm sorry, Yipsy. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't read it.
Shout out to Ipsy. Making it all the way.
Shout out Yipsy. It's my guy, bro. It's my guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and talk about this other matchup now. And then if we have time, maybe we'll double back and do some lane by lane discussions. We've already talked about the mid lane matchup a little bit between TSI and Elysium here, but let's quickly go over that Omega Dorado match that's going to be happening tomorrow. And I am actually predicting this one to go to 5 as well, but I'm going to differ from Storm again here. I think it is going to be Dorado that ends up taking it. While Omega did have that pretty solid performance, the 3-0 over the Spire last week, right? I'm going to have to agree with something else that Storm said, where it just felt like, unfortunately, the Spire were really never quite able to solve those issues that they were having. They were never really able to get it together, and I don't think they were really able to test Omega in the way that Dorado is going to. While Dorado did have that kind of shakier performance up against the Monkeys, I'm expecting them to continue kind of ramping up and sort of batten down the hatches, as it were, and actually be able to take this matchup against Omega, who do have kind of like a very, very careful, slow style. And I just think Dorado is going to kind of make the game chaotic and to be able to take over from there. Storm, you are going for the Omega prediction. So what's your thought process?
Yeah, so my entire thing with Dorado is I was like, just generally how I thought they were going to play and things like that they were going to be the team to brawl and, go for it and just play absolutely crazy stuff, right? That's always kind of been Dorado's style. And they have certain players on this team who really, kind of mesh that way that, we'll show them all. Or Jake is really skirmish focused. Pelly in the jungle also feels that way. But then they have pieces on their team that don't feel like fit quite as well towards that style, that there's a bit of like a disconnect. That I think Yo-Yos in mid, while they are like a really great player, they mostly play a lot more towards control mages, right? There's a lot of like Mel and Oriana and Victor, things like that in their solo queue pool, that they're much more focused towards like actual team fights and not as much on skirmishing. And then Sunrai at support, I don't think is like the greatest matchup with Jake. They do play some kind of engage, but they play a lot more towards jungle. I've noticed kind of in the past year that they are like technically off role. And I just, from what I saw of that series last night, I don't feel like the two of them were on like the same page together. So that's why I slightly favor Omega in this series, but I think it is really, really hard to tell. Again, with Dorado is their team of momentum, right? If they get going, they can get going. Omega's the same way as well, that when they're cruising and when everyone's feeling good, they start to relax more and they start playing better. So I really think that the series is like, if somebody gets up 2 games, I think the series is over. But if it's like trading back and forth and there's these slugfasts happening, then I think it could be really close. I think Maj and Jaeyoung will be like an equal for Dorado, and I think that's kind of generally the strength of that team, was playing towards Jake when they started really coming back. So that's why that's another reason why I'm favoring Omega. It'll be interesting to see if Caxi is able to kind of compete with Pelly. Caxi is generally much more of a defensive jungler, focuses much more towards like counter ganking and being someone who's trying to control the pace of the map and playing, engage. So there's going to be like, Maokai's or things like that for his team, whereas Peli's very much more towards the aggressive style jungle picks with, like Pantheon and Xin Zhao and Poppy. So
Yeah.
I think the jungle matchup's going to be the most interesting thing next week, tomorrow between Omega and Dorado, and that's where I'm thinking the series is going to come through. But I think Omega's going to pull it out slightly. I have a couple of things like I alliterated to before, but I'm really counting on Maj and Jae Young to be kind of the difference maker for Omega.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, they have been a very stellar bot lane, no doubt about it. Jae Young has had so many fantastic performances joining the team halfway through the season. I think it's good that you mentioned Caxi as well. Typically we do have this idea about Caxi where he's this defensive, kind of supportive style jungler. But, last week in their 3-0, he did bust out the Wukong and the Xin Zhao and looked pretty solid on both of them. He definitely can play the fighters as well. So it'll be interesting to see that jungle matchup, absolutely. And, something else that you mentioned, Storm, the fact that Omega did get 3-0 last week as opposed to the 3-2 for Dorado. You could argue that Omega are coming into the matchup tomorrow with a little bit more momentum. So, if that does end up being a big factor, then that momentum could end up playing a role as well. But Aguri, let's get your thoughts. You are going for a 3-1 prediction there for Omega. So what's really resonating with you in this discussion so far? How do you think that series will play out?
I think when you're talking about the momentum, I think that is going to have a big impact. I think Omega is going to be 3-1. I didn't catch the Dorado Monkeys game, so I can't speak too much to Dorado's current state. But Omega felt like they got the train rolling and it didn't stop against the Spire. So on one hand, you say, yeah, the Spire didn't show up, but on the other hand, Omega knew how to carry the momentum forward. So I think Dorado's going to take one game off, but I think Omega is going to get the train rolling, and I don't know if Dorado's going to be able to stop it.
Interesting. So do you have any thoughts in regards of like which game you think Dorado might win? Is it going to be early in the series, later in the series?
I'm always... Historically, I always struggle a bit in the first game and then get the train rolling onward. I feel like Dorado's probably going to pick up the first game as Omega starts getting warmed up, and then I think Omega's going to carry through.
Well, CZI, let's get your thoughts. You are my fellow Dorado predictor here on the graphic, going for the 3-1 spread there. What's in the conversation is really standing out for you? What are your thoughts on that, Matt?
Although I do agree with Omega in the momentum situation going on right now, I think Dorado as an org and as a all their teams for the most part, without the few outliers, have the ability to like completely put a hold on all that and just magically start playing like the best team in the league at a moment's notice. Then they have the players for it. They have really good players in their team, and Jake is still that guy, and I'm not gonna act like he's not just because the Monkey series last week was a bit odd. He did carry that game 5 super hard. Like he was the main reason that game was even slightly winnable, because that comp that Monkeys had was disgustingly good in my opinion. We're not gonna get into that though, but I just think Dorado has the players that match up well into Omega. Although Omega does have the momentum, I think Dorado is gonna be understanding that if we don't win this game, we don't win this series, Zol is gonna, something's gonna happen. We don't want that.
Uh-oh, not Angry Zol.
Angry Zol is a scary thing, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's a good call out as well. We were talking a little bit about like ceilings and floors earlier. And I do feel like Dorado, like you're talking about CZI, have that really high ceiling where if they're firing on all cylinders, they have really explosive potential to just kind of blow open games. And I don't think we've seen that same explosivity from Omega. They really are more of like a control style team that likes to play things relatively slow and kind of choke their opponents out. It does come down to like if Dorado are on form, if they're synergizing with one another and firing on all cylinders, but if they are, then I feel like they're going to be pretty hard to stop. But still need, of course, to hear from RJ as well, going for the 3-2 prediction there for Omega. What are your thoughts?
Originally, I thought it would be Dorado, but the more I thought about it, the more I liked how Omega matched into Dorado. I feel like the bot lane is a toss-up. Like, either it could go Maj's or way or Jake's way. But both of their supports are really good. Their map play is really incredible. And I feel like the big difference is their mid jungle. Like the Dorado mid jungle is a bit more traditional in what they play. Whereas with Omega, I feel like when they just play their own picks and move at their own tempo, I feel like they are just unstoppable. So I think I'll just favor the uncertainty of just being brought into like a Kog'Maw mid lane game and thinking that Omega will pilot that game a lot better than Dorado. So that's why I'm gonna give them the edge here.
Interesting. Yeah, I like that a lot. Saren definitely has been cooking over there in the mid lane for Omega. So if he's able to pull out some more interesting, unexpected picks, absolutely could see that giving Omega an edge, even in just a single game. That might be all that they need to end up winning the series. So I think that's a great call out as well. Storm, any final thoughts on that Omega Dorado matchup?
No, I'm curious to see if we have time to get kind of into a little bit of lane by lane comparisons.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's jump back on over to this TSI Elysium battle. And since we have you here, CZI, let's take a look at your matchup going up against Smoke tonight. We've got, we discussed this a little bit earlier as well. Storm, I believe you were talking about how you feel like Smoke maybe has a slightly deeper pool in terms of like pulling out counter picks later in the series. CZI, do you have any thoughts about that? Any thoughts about Smoke in particular as a top laner?
I think Smoke's a great top laner. I think he has a really solid pool of aggressive champions. And that seems to be a style he prefers to go to, although he does have things like Ward. I think his best characters are like the Set, the Darius, and things of the sort. In terms of pool, I don't really read too much into that because in Fearless, people have plenty of things they just don't pull out because they don't need to yet. And same goes with me and probably him as well. We probably have plenty of things that we can play, but we just don't need to. So, I think for both our teams, we're pretty flexible, and that's the main part about both of us. I think is really good for both our squads. And I think it's a good matchup. I think it's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Do you think there's much potential for us to see some spicy counter picks tonight? Any kind of a teaser there?
Look, man, if it gets good, it's gonna get good. Like if my team trusts me enough that if the angle looks delicious, I'm gonna take something. Because I refuse to play a boring series. Come on, like I refuse. I'm gonna have a little bit of fun. If we could play Ezra mid and things like that for Omega, I should be allowed to play a little something. Like that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I believe you busted out like the Garen at one point earlier in the season.
Oh yeah, I love that champ, bro.
Yeah.
They always doubt it. I'm not getting into it, but they always doubt it, bro. It's like this doesn't look like it. Trust me.
Yeah, I remember.
It might work out. It might not, but we're gonna try it.
It worked that game, if I recall correctly. You did really good on it.
Into the Cassante,
yeah, definitely some potential for some counter picks there.
That's how. Sometimes you just gotta flip something. You never know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a friend who's a Garen main.
Hey,
I know how to fear the Garen.
Garen's inevitable. He's gonna find his way to that backline one way.
I agree. Anything else that when it comes to CZI, anything in particular that you're fearful of tonight? Anything in particular with CZI style that you're going to be keeping an eye out for? You think?
I'm not scary, bro.
I mean, if you're bringing out the Garen, well, you're gonna have me a little concerned. Anytime anyone brings out a pick that people say, "Oh, don't worry about this pick," I go, "Hang on a second. Are you sure about that?"
Look, I'm a trustworthy guy, bro. I promise you. Well, I'm not gonna promise you it's not gonna come out. I never know what's gonna happen, but I'm not pulling out game one. I'll give you that much.
Okay. I'm actually feeling kind of guilty now. I feel like I reminded everybody about the Garen, and now they might.
Yeah, I'm gonna have at least some reparations for that.
Yeah, I'm not bad on that one. But RJ, taking a look at these stats here between the two top laners.
Don't.
Anything you'd like to?
Oh, okay, I thought it was mine. Mine's looking like a graveyard. Mine's looking like a graveyard.
Mine's look bad too, bro. It's all right. Comparable stats.
I'm sorry for derailing. Go ahead.
No, all good. Just anything you'd like to say about the top lane matchup here between your boys Smoke and CZI here?
I mean, they are both my boys. I played with both of them, funny enough, under the TSI umbrella both times. And
Mm-hmm.
so I have a little bit of prior knowledge of how CCI likes to play, and obviously Smoke is my current teammate. And funnily enough, they kind of feel like the same player. They will just take one for the team, just be put on Ornn duty, Cho'Gath duty, just take up the tank mantle.
Mm-hmm.
But if they tell me like, yo, we gotta go Darius, we gotta go Garen, we gotta go something here, like it's good. Like I'll 100% trust both Smoke and CCI because they perform. If they say they're gonna do it, they will do it. So it'll be definitely like a light show on top if we allow them to. But it'll just come down to draft prep. Like, do we want to just be boring and just tank, fighter, mage, AD carry, and then just go again like 4 games in a row? I don't think so. I feel like the team that's gonna go down will be more willing to just pull out these like wild cards just to give a better chance at fighting.
Yeah, absolutely. Both strong top laners, no doubt about it. As far as these stats are concerned, one thing really interesting to me that I'm noticing is CZI, you've got a significantly higher KDA there, but then Smoke has a much higher kill participation. So that, indicates that Smoke is maybe grouping up with the team a little bit more, but, obviously it's hard to really draw any definitive conclusions from stats. Storm, what are your thoughts?
I was about to say, I remember looking at this like a little bit. Smoke has the most isolated deaths and isolated kills of any player in the league. Like for 1v1s, Smoke is gonna fight and he's gonna die and he's gonna kill his opponent. So that's where I think like his kill participation really rockets up compared to a lot of top laners. Is he's just randomly gonna like rocket a lane with 4 or 5 deaths and 4 or 5 kills.
He smokes or gets smoked.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Good stuff. Like a true top laner, right?
Duality a top lane, bro. He's a real top laner for real.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
Salute to him.
I think we have time to discuss one more matchup, Storm. Where would you like to go?
Well, I think with RJ here, we have to go to the bot lane.
Let's do it. He was teasing us a little bit already as
Yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me see
I'm
that.
curious to take a look here. But RJ, anything you'd like to lead off with in terms of your matchup tonight against Dilly, a very storied AD carry here in amateur, as previously discussed.
The only thing
Your stats
I
aren't
can
that bad, bro.
I'm an AD carry. I'm supposed to be the KDA guy.
Touche.
But I played Dilly quite a bit this year. I think like on other leagues I faced him like 3 times, and within Premier another 3 times. And I think we are like split even. I think it's a really even matchup between us. I think he favors a lot more of not necessarily like hyperscalers, but like stuff that spikes around the mid game and helps just bridge the late game for his mid laners so they can take over. And if it necessity arises, he can just also take over a game. And he also has like the pocket jinxes and Aphelios if they need him on a hyper carry. He's a really good player, and especially with Arrow, his proficiency just goes up.
Yeah, absolutely. Aguri, let's hear from you. RJ, we heard him talking a little, sizing up the competition a little bit there, talking about, he feels like Dilly's greatest strengths and Dilly's, general play style. What do you feel like are RJ's greatest strengths? What does he bring to the table that you're really going to be looking to utilize tonight? He was kind of downplaying himself earlier as well, saying like, oh, I know I'm not the real carry. It's all up to NBK who's got to get it done. But, we know that RJ has had some really solid performances for the team in the past. So, Aguri, what do you feel like are his greatest strengths that we're going to be looking at?
He's not the real carry until he is the real carry.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
More of a
RJ, you downplay yourself too much. Now, when RJ pops off, he pops off. I know we all still give him grief about that one Jinx game earlier in this season, but when he gets rolling, he goes on a rampage.
Absolutely. I remember last season, it felt like the play style for you guys for Team Solo Invade was just like pure team fight. Like you guys would always just rock up to every single objective. You'd have 3 frontliners, top jungle and support, always picking frontline engage, and then just NBK and RJ, you guys were just rocks, so consistent at doing the damage and team fighting effectively, and you guys just got so many wins, I felt like, off the back of just team fighting better than your opponents. And AD carry, obviously, a very, very important piece in that equation. So definitely. I think we're looking for some solid carry performances from obviously both AD carries tonight. But I agree with Aguri, of course. Don't be selling yourself short there, RJ. We know what you can do. We've
Oh,
CZI,
I
what are your
know.
thoughts on this?
Oh, I know. I can go 0-17 against Conduit. I know.
Gap the best of us. CZI, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I'll give my 2 cents. They're both really good ADCs. I feel like both of them. Sometimes they both play the same, but then sometimes it's just RJ going off his rocker, just doing something insane, which is like an RJ thing. That's why his KD is a little bit lower. But Dilly's a lot more of like a controlled type of like, you know what? He's like in his team full of stability, full of crazy people. Gus is doing whatever. Me just being a top laner in general. He's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here, scale up, chill, and like, you know what? I respect that. And it's a good contrast to Arrow because Arrow just does Arrow. He's
Do you think
crazy.
that
That guy's insane.
Do you feel like that's why they're such a strong duo because they have like different strengths and kind of balance each other out like that way?
I definitely think that's feasible because like I'm thinking about it. Like when I joined this team, this is my first time playing with Arrow, and I'm like, wow, this guy he makes crazy plays. He's like Mickey X. That's what I think about him. He's like Mickey X.
Interesting. I like that
Because
comparison.
Mickey would just make a weird play happen, but he'll make it look good. So shout out to Arrow
Cool. NA Mickey X. See
and
if
then
that
Mickey
one's-
X.
Very cool. Very cool. So I think that is all the time that we have for this episode of Otter Talk. We'll be starting up this upper bracket final in about 5 minutes. So we're just going to go ahead and hand it over for some shout outs. CZI, any words you have for the stream, words ahead of your match tonight?
Shout out to League of Legends cop scene for us lower elo players that aren't exactly like higher echelon. It's always fun. Gives us a nice outlet to play the game, and we have a great time every week. So shout out to everybody that plays this.
So I have a great time casting you guys as well. So I appreciate that shout out. I'm also thankful for all y'all. RJ, your shout outs, please.
Shout out to my teammates. They've been awesome the whole season, all ranging from current teammates to substitutes and people that could not make it this week. So shout outs to them and especially Brendan for giving us this opportunity to participate under the TSI umbrella. It's been a great experience.
Absolutely. Like that shout out for Brendan as well. My old enemy in solo queue. I know he remembers that one. I know you're out in there in chat as well, Brendan. What's up? How's it going? Agree. Your shout outs, please. The sub himself, the super sub.
Sounds a little silly, but honestly, shout outs to everyone participating. You can't have a league without the players and the teams. So shout out to everyone putting the time in to build the teams and make these leagues possible. You have the production, that's one half. You got to have the players with the production.
Yeah.
Amen.
Absolutely. I want to shout out you guys. Thank you very much for joining us for this episode of Otter Talk. Good luck in the match tonight. Everybody, we're going to a short break, and when we come back, the upper bracket final between Team Solo Invade and Elysium. Okay, everybody, let's get started with what you have all been waiting for. Team Solo Invade versus Elysium in a best of 5 for a spot in the Grand Finals for Premier Season 2. Both teams have lost only 2 matches all season long, finishing the round robin with exactly the same number of points. It was the head-to-head that gave Team Solo Invade the first place finish in the standings. In the prior meeting between these two squads was all the way back in week number 1. That was a 2-1 victory for TSI in an extremely close series. Also, both teams did secure their respective victories in the first round of playoffs with a 2-1 scoreline in both cases, losing in game number 1 before being able to find their footing and secure the next 2 nexuses. These teams, they've been neck and neck all season long, and today, one of them will secure a decisive advantage in their rival. Storm, thoughts heading in?
Like I said, I think this is going to be a pretty banger of a series. I did have a 3-1 prediction coming in here for TSI, but I wouldn't be that surprised if it goes all the way to 5 games today. I think both these teams are really deep champion pools. I think they have a lot of flexibility in the draft. I'm really hoping we see some of these cool counter picks come out that I was alluding to before. There's just a lot this series that I think is going to be really interesting. Will the junglers be doing anything weird? There's that possibility as well, right? We've seen Gus play like a huge variety of champions. So, are we going to see the Ivern finally go through? That's been banned most this season. Probably not. But do we see the Jax get pulled out? Does the Silas angle, is that there, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot. And for like Harman Karn, there's also like there's some weird picks that he can float as well, right? There's not just like the Viego and the Wukong, but there's like he's a Fiddlesticks player, I'm pretty sure. I always kind of remember being one of those. Like he really likes AP junglers. There's like Belveth angles as well that I remember seeing them play that before and getting really annoyed. He had some Shungle, the Shen Jungle games I remember earlier this season.
The River Shen.
The River Shen,
well. That would be pretty
where
exciting.
he was like building redemption and stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's star-studded matchups, across the board, between these two teams. So many veteran players in the amateur scene that have found, a lot of success in the past, obviously, as I mentioned earlier. Elysium, the defending champs. TSI looking to get some revenge. They got swept 3-0 by Elysium in the semifinals last season. So Team Solo Invade hoping to write a different ending to the story this time around. We are split on the caster desk here in terms of predictions. I am going with Elysium in this one. I think it is going to 5 games. I have a feeling that history might repeat itself, but we'll have to wait and see. Definitely 2 very strong teams. I think we're going to be getting into this draft shortly. Storm, we have Team Solo Team Solo Invade on the blue side to start out. I do believe, as the higher seed, I imagine that they had side selection. I'm not 100% sure about that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they had their higher seed according to the thing, so I'm guessing that's what they picked. They could have just defaulted to it too, though. I think it kind of makes sense, and I think that is our draft has officially started.
Yeah.
So, Ivern ban, boo. I want to see that come out. Yeah.
The Sivir going to get denied from RJ. On Otter Talk, we had a couple of different picks getting floated. The Jinx for Dilly was certainly mentioned a couple of times. There's the Jax. You were also calling out that one. The Zoe as well, something that Watercat has found a lot of success with recently. Pulled it out to great success in a couple of his recent matches. So not too surprised to see that one getting taken away. And, the fact that they're on blue side kind of gives you a little bit more freedom to go for some of these target bans, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be kind of a jungle priority first pick in some ways, but no. It's Smolder. Hooray. The dragon. The scaling dragon. Woohoo! That's probably a good first pick, honestly. I think with Sivir being banned out, it just kind of lends you to being able to go late and just kind of trust in that sort of team fighting thing. I think that's a good way. I think it's kind of one of those things, if you're Elysium, I would want to get spicy, and I think you slam like something else that's really potent late game. But instead, I think maybe the solution's going to get locked in. So they're instead they're going to try and punish early and play, I guess, more of a mid-game spike. So I wonder, do we just take the Nami? Okay,
No.
instead.
Nami is old news, Storm. It hasn't been Nami for a while. Lucian Braum is the new hotness, and Arrow has had some really nice performances actually on the Braum as well. Had in game 3 against Dorado last week, we saw Arrow on the Braum was 1-4-18. And then also Arrow was piloting the Braum in their game 3 victory over Elysium back in week number 1 was 0-3-14 in that game as well. So definitely this is a great pick for Arrow. And I like this strategy of trying to go aggressive and punish the Smolder early.
They just lucked Nami into Braum. I don't like that. That sounds bad.
Yeah. Why exactly? Could you elaborate a
'Cause
little bit more?
yeah, sorry. That's just kind of one of those things, right? Brom's big shield, his E, I don't actually know what it's called, but it
Unbreak-
blocks Unbreakable. It can block Nami Wave. So instead of your whole team getting knocked up, it can just be like Brom pressing one button to solve that issue. Also, it's generally hard to land bubbles onto Lucian because he has a lot of dashes in his kit. And Brom also has the dash as well, right? To stand beside me. Um, you're also fairly squishy and you're not that like potent in lane. So it's like also kind of hard, I think, to lane into these two. I think it's an interesting take if your thought is to like maybe you flex Smolder mid and you take something else down bot lane that pairs with the Nami. But I don't think you want to play Smolder into Hui. And Elysium having locked that kind of control mage that's very, very versatile in for themselves in the mid lane. I'm wondering what the kind of answer is going to be to that. If they're just going to, take Ori or something like that, or if they're going to go kind of Hui's kind of weaknesses from what I've seen is like the really high range, artillery mages, things like Vel'Koz and Zareth and things like that.
Sure.
But
Same weaknesses as a lot of other long range mages as well, right? Wei has no
Yeah.
inbuilt mobility, so he can be susceptible to things like, for example, a Jarvan engage as well, which we did
Mhm.
see locked in on the other side for Team Solo Mid. But yeah, both of these picks we've seen, pulled out for their respective players earlier this season as well. That was in that same game that I mentioned a moment ago, back in week 1, where TSI were able to triumph over Elysium. It was actually, that was right, that was NBK way. I'm sure Watercat has pulled out the way recently as
Yeah.
well. But as far as the Jarvan is concerned, that was last week. We saw Haman Karn on the Jarvan in their game 2 win over the Spire. He was 4-0-11 in that game on the J4. So definitely a comfort pick there. We're already through the second ban phase. Storm, Mordekaiser, and Diana going to get taken away by TSI. And then Elysium going to go ahead and ban away the Galio and the Mel. A couple of options they'd be a little bit worried about getting taken into the way. And then the Wukong, shockingly, making it all the way to R4, is going to get picked up. Feels like a pretty solid answer into that Jarvan.
Yeah, I have him as my most picked for pick'ems for Worlds. I think that champion is going to be very high priority. And kind of shocked he went all the way through round 2. I do not like that pick. So while Ornn is a fantastic blue side, like just blind pick and everything, and you have Banfart with, this Mordekaiser being outlet that, the enemy team does have Braum. So that reliable like engage with the Ornhorn doesn't exist because it just means Braum can just put the shield behind him and block it as it's coming through. And there is plenty of potent counter picks like this Gwen.
There is the Gwen, indeed. We were talking a little bit about counter picks in our Otter Talk segment earlier. It's CZI that he's not afraid to pull stuff out, and the Gwen, like you just mentioned, definitely a great answer into the Ornn. And it's a really scary, honestly, skirmishing composition for Elysium. They have so much damage with this draft.
Yeah. They don't really have any ways to really initiate a fight very cleanly, right? Unless it's kind of Wukong going for one of these flank angles or something similar to that. So that could be an issue for them, but it is one of those things. If you do get Braum to tag a Winter's Bite onto someone or anything like that, that's an easy way to start a fight as well. So it's not like they're completely without ways to engage into this team. I think for Team Solo Invade, it's just they have to be able to buy as much time as possible. I don't think they're winning this game pre 30 minutes. I think the only way they're winning this game is if it drags to, that 40-minute mark kind of thing where Smolder has over 300 stacks and Syndra has her passive fully stacked and can start one-shotting people, because I think this is going to be a really hard game to play out. They don't have a winning top side. They don't have a winning bot side. Mid, I think, is probably the only winning lane they have for themselves. Jarvan and Syndra are both really good at ganking, so that's how I think TSI is going to play. I think they're really going to go after Watercat and mid for Elysium on this way and try and blow his flash early. I'm hoping that there's some level 1, but the enemy team's level 1 is also so incredibly potent just for the sheer fact, nature that Braum is on their team, right? So their level 1 is automatically the top tier. So It's going to be hard, I think, for TSI to play this game out. But yeah, it's all about if they can weather this kind of early game storm, like the mid game spike of Wukong, Braum, and Lucian. And like, that's an absolute nightmare to play against.
No doubt about it. Yeah, it does feel like perhaps a little bit of a greedy draft from Team Solo Invade in this first game. It is very heavy scaling, like you're talking about. The Jarvan is really the one tool that they have to kind of try to bridge through the early and mid game to get to that point where their Smolder is fully stacked, the Syndra is fully stacked on the passive, the Ornn gets to level 14, 15, starts handing out those ornaments. That's really the point in the game where their composition is going to be really strong. But I do think like you also mentioned, the mid-game team fighting power that Elysium have at their disposal is going to be really difficult for TSI to withstand. But you did also mention, Jarvan Syndra is a pretty powerful mid-jungle 2v2. So, if they can get a lead in the mid lane, then that could be what they need to sort of, you transition that tempo into maybe taking like one early drag, and then that buys you the time that you need for Smolder to stack and things like this. But yeah, it definitely does feel like it might be tricky for Team Solo Invade to navigate. One thing as well that we heard during Otter Talk was the fact that RJ specifically was really looking to highlight mid lane as potentially the most important lane to watch. So I feel like that is somewhat reflected in the drafting strategy, particularly for the side of TSI.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. The other kind of like where I have right is TSI are the team with all the go in buttons and all the engage and things like that, right? That they have the Ornn, they have the Jarvan, things like that. Do you really want to be engaging into Gwen, Wukong, and Braum? Right? Like, if Gwen is actually at a team fight, her just whole kind of job is to just sit back, wait till the enemy uses their thing, and then ghost and sprint at Smolder as fast as humanly possible with the Gwen is immune funny button, right? There's a lot that Gwen is going to offer this draft. It's not just all like the side lane presence of like, oh, Gwen just gets Ornn to not be at team fights and cracks tier 2s and like doesn't play the game that way. It's like their team fight presence is going to be really, really high for CZI. I think this game, that it's not just going to be the pure side lane Gwen. I think CZI is going to rock up to these team fights. And yeah, I'm favoring Elysium in this game 1. I think they got the cards to play for. While I think their scaling isn't as potent as Team Solo Invades, I think they still have like a pretty good late game. So I'm really favoring them. What about you, Crewman?
Yeah, it's a kind of a tough question. It definitely does feel like there's some contrasting styles between these two drafts here for game number 1. I think you're absolutely right that the Gwen is not just a side lane threat. Obviously, we all know what Gwen can do in team fights as well. It can be a really, really big threat, and there are a lot of threats on the side of Elysium in those team fights. But I will also say that I do feel like if we get into the late game, we're eventually going to reach a point where Elysium's composition, I would say, is going to be harder to pilot, harder to execute on. It's going to still be doable. Absolutely. They have some strong scaling champions. They're always going to have enough damage at every stage of the game to, if you kill either Smolder or Syndra at the beginning of the team fight, that's probably going to be a winning fight for Elysium if they can get that done. So, I do think that they have the tools, but I feel like for Team Solo Invade, they actually got what they wanted pretty much. They have a very simple style. The big question, as we've already mentioned, is going to be, can they get to the late game? But if they can, I think they're going to end up taking this game number 1, actually.
Okay, so we're split again. You think TSI is going to take this game, or is that what you're saying?
I think so. Okay. I mean, Smolder is actually in a decently strong place right now. Haman Karn on this Jarvan, we've seen him do amazing work with the pick. I think he's actually going to be able to get them to that late game, and they're going to end up outscaling Elysium and have the easier to execute composition later on.
All right. Well, we were split on the call earlier today, and we're split now. So I guess there's only one thing to do.
That's right. Hopefully that's an indication of a nice competitive best of 5 today, Storm. We're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back for the first game of it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on to Summoner's Rift for the first game of the upper bracket finals for Premier Season 2. Team Solo Invade starting off on the blue side, Elysium on the red. As we do see the Braum level 1. Looks like it's going to be coming out, Storm.
Yeah, I was talking about it. The Braum just means you have a really strong level 1. We also see this is Ignite Braum, which is kind of weird. Most of the time, Braum is very much disengaged, taking exhaust, but Elysium recognizing that they might need to try and push the pace a little here, taking that Ignite down in the bot lane. Anything else interesting you feel, crewman, towards summoner spells? I don't really see anything else all that different.
Well, RJ running that teleport on the Smolder is a bit interesting. Does indicate that he is expecting this to be a very, very difficult laning phase, right? And he's going to need that teleport for tempo to get back to the lane and continue stacking. So we'll see if the Lucian Braum is really going to be able to put on a lot of pressure. Obviously having the teleport means he does not have access to the cleanse or the barrier or anything of that nature. So, if they do end up forced to fight down there in the 2v2, it's going to be extra difficult for the Smolder Nami side of things.
Yeah, is Fleet Footwork on Smolder? I believe that's just standard on this champion now. First Q the game does miss, but...
And then, are you getting audio storms? I actually...
Yeah.
You. So
yeah.
I have it in box now.
Yeah, if you see the little, icon, you click on that, and there's, sound on, you can see, underneath the, timer, if you see the icon.
It is toggled.
Yeah.
Yeah, within the parsec icon. Yeah, I'm clicking it. It says sound on.
Okay. I'm not sure then if you might need to go into your settings or something.
Perhaps I'll be able to figure it out. For now, though, it looks like we do have our jungler starting on the same side, both starting on their top side buffs, pathing down towards this lane. Interestingly, it looks like RJ and Hax actually able to get the early push. A little bit surprising.
Yeah, I mean, Lucian Braum, I feel like even though level 1, they're fairly strong, Nami is really potent early on, right? With the heal being able to bounce and get all those things. Smolder does have his Q, which generally outranges a lot of things. I think level 1, they're not that weak down here early. It's just as, levels kind of get up here, we see these trades that, Nami currently is able to kind of heal towards a lot of the damage that we're seeing that Dilly's able to put out, but that's not going to keep up, right? As we get sort of bases and, armor and magic resistance going up and things. But, I'm really curious how CZI is going to handle this top lane, because this is one of those things, Ornn being the blacksmith, mage, DPS, assassin, tank that he is. He's really, really good actually into Gwen, pre-6, I would say. Just because Gwen's really telegraphed as she's going in, so that means as Ornn, you're able to get a lot of poke into her and stuff. I've sometimes played the Qmax Ornn, where you go summon Aerie and rush the Bramble Vest. It is kind of a thing on Ornn that some people do. I kind of like it even into this matchup, where it's really primarily magic based, just because you proc Aerie basically on cooldown against the Gwen and kind of poke her out. That is kind of Gwen's real weakness. But this bubble coming out, so this is a chance now. We do see Wukong has finished his full clear, and Jarvan is coming towards him in.
Yeah, Haman Karn moving in. Watercat may have to flash here. Is just going to get knocked up by the EQ combo, and now it might be too late to actually go for the flash. He does have Guster there. Tries to flash away on a sliver of health as Watercat. Haman Karn needs one more Q, and he will get it back up off cooldown. That is going to be the first blood for Team Solo Invade's jungler.
Yeah, and that's a disaster for Watercat, because if you're not going to flash the Jarvan combo, just accept the death, bro. Burning your flash at sub 100 HP. Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. No, I apologize for interrupting you.
No.
Yeah, it's definitely. You're completely right. I think that you did need to flash the combo there, and if you aren't able to, then you just gotta accept the death. But he is gonna be down death and down the flash. Using teleport there obviously as well to get back to lane. See if Watercat's gonna be able to rally. But an early lead for this TSI draft, pretty big.
Yep. CSI now going for this Sunfire Gate, the Hollow Radiance, I believe, the AP Sunfire Rush up against Gwen, which kind of makes sense. You see Gus here towards the top side. That smoke is somewhat low, so this is an opportunity. I think CZI is trying to bait the E in from smoke here. Wasn't able to get it. Gus is going to come in. Don't think this will really be anything.
Smoke enough HP there to just wander back towards the turret without too much of a worry. And Guster just wasting a little bit of time. You know, was kind of waiting, I think, for the Krug respawn, perhaps. Not going to be coming through, so just going to move on towards the Raptors instead. Meanwhile, Mr. Karn going to be targeting this first dragon. And again, you know, getting an early dragon for this heavily scaling composition. Fantastic news for Team Solo Invade.
Yeah, especially another thing I want to call out is CZI has used Needlework, that ultimate in the top lane for Gwen, so he's not going to have that available to him on the reset here either to, like, threaten a solo kill. And is down a fair amount of CS as well, right? Oh, Arrow is going to face check this.
Dragon is going to be secured. Arrow looking to potentially set something up with the concussive blows. Here's Guster for the follow-up. Haman Karn trying to EQ away, but the flash follow there for the Wukong, and Guster going to be able to get Elysium on the board.
Yep, that's Ignite down for Braum, so there is that, you know, kind of gone for the all-in towards the bot lane, but that's still pretty huge just to get a kill on this Wukong roll, to get that ball rolling. You know, has the Sheen finish now for this jungle clear, so should start picking up, getting a little faster towards that. As Gust is starting to go down towards the top side, I guess maybe they're going to try and threaten a dive or play for grubs that are going to be spawning.
Sense.
Yeah.
That grubs, you know, if the side of Team Solo Invade are able to get those as well, you know, getting both of the early neutrals would be pretty amazing. They don't have, like, great split pushers necessarily. Really, you know, getting those for the Gwen would be more impactful, I think, for the side of Elysium. But, you know, as we can see right now, Guster is still on that bottom side of the map. 30 seconds to go until the grubs spawn.
Yep.
And also, you know, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say RJ and Axe have already swapped up here to try and be ready for this fight and for this play. So they have a lot going for them. We do see that Arrow has now taken this reset and will be up here, but you know, Haman Karn has already invaded towards Guster, who's taken so long on the bot side of the map, stole away this red buff here. I think this is going to be really hard for Wukong to try and play towards this fight, because Lucian is really the strength of this team towards this mid game, and he's not here. He's stuck bot lane, just chilling out against an Ornn.
Some great control over the area right now for Team Solo Invade. Haman Karn starting up the objective.
Arrow's not 6 yet either.
That is big. Level 6 difference between the supports. Axe can go for the tidal wave nice and early. Guster going in, thinking about popping the Cyclone. We'll use it now, but the Wukong immediately going to get popped as Haman Karn comes on over and dunks him with the Cataclysm. A better setup and better execution for TSI.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been a complete win across the board if they hadn't blown this TP from their Ornn, but I'm guessing they had called it out. You know, this Wukong's going in. They must have someone else here or something like that. All that was not a great look for the side of Elysium there. You know, without your flash Wing in as Guster there, trying to get that kill just means that you are just going to get absolutely rocked by Jarvan. So hopefully we're able to see Elysium start playing more towards this. Oh, this might be a solo kill. Oh, he canceled the auto.
Taking a turret shot in the needlework now. CZI ghosting forward, not going to fully commit for the chase down. Going to be happy trading ults. Does get the flash out from smoke as well. Very close call there in the top lane. I wonder with the ghost, I feel like CZI maybe could have chased him down for that kill. What do you think?
I definitely think so. I also think that Smoke could have killed him there. He definitely, like, overstayed trying to get that one auto and caused him to take that turret shot. But without that, that would have been an extra, like, 200 or 300 damage. We have level 4 of our Brittle. That would have been a big proc, and that would have set up the W as well. But this should just be a reset here for both of them. I mean, there's no way Ornn sticks around here. He doesn't have TP noticeably, so, you know, CZI might be able to force him to stay around at this low HP, but we do see Harman Karn is coming up, and MBK does have a timer as well.
Oh, look at NBK also moving over. CZI, he does have that ward in the bush, in the river, so is going to have the knowledge that NBK is here and is going to be able to back away in time. So a pretty nice roam over from NBK, seeing if maybe he could punish CZI's aggression, but the Gwen going to back away just in time. Now maybe it's Buttercat who's overstayed a bit, does have the flashback available, and is going to play towards the correct side of the map, so no issues there.
Yeah, and this is kind of the worry that Elysium haven't been able to find anything towards this mid game. That it is just okay. Here we go.
They in trouble. The concussive blows backed up. The Cyclone is there, and the Smolder is down. Guster flashing in, gets the knockup onto Hacks. R2 available, and that's going to be a double kill for Dilly. Elysium take the lead.
Yeah, and big news for them is that's the feat of warfare secured for them. They're the first to 3 kills, because it's looking like the feat of monster slaying might not be on their side.
Scatter over the wall. Watercat was full HP, so we'll be all right for now, but that absolutely was massive. I mean, not only is it getting you the feat of warfare, but also 2 kills on the Lucian. That is exactly where you want the gold. If you are an Elysium fan, now you can see Dilly moving over. Gonna pay it back as they set up for the dragon. On Karn getting forced out. RJ kind of off on his own right now.
He's gonna solo kill him.
And Mom comes down from the sky. RJ eliminates the enemy jungler. And just like that, Team Solo Invade put a stop to what Elysium was looking to do.
Yeah, that's, again, just, I don't know if that's just Guster feeling too strong or something at this point.
The issue was just they were split. He was split from his really strong Lucian Braum. They were awfully trying to make... Oh, CZI.
Oh, CZI is going to...
Another 1v1. Oh. Workout is going to miss. CZI not really going to get a whole lot done with the needlework either. Meanwhile, be 2 dragons up for Team Solo Invade. They do secure that feat of monster slaying. So feats of Strength Storm all going to come down to the first turret.
Yep, as it kind of normally seems to, but... We'll have to see. Gus is just hightailing onto Smoke here, but Smoke does have his E to get some distance. Is going to make it, I think. We don't have Cyclone yet either.
Yeah. So the Ornn going to be completely fine there once again. Just able to back away, no problem. The laners both hovering towards the top side right now. While in the bot lane, Dilly going for a little bit of a culling. Just tickles the Nami a little bit. Trying to put on some pressure in this 2v2. Both AD carries now with their Essence Reaver completed.
Yep. Other major items coming in through this Sundered Sky completed for Jarvan. Ornn being able to sit in the lane and build his items has completed that Hollow Radiance, whereas CZI has yet to finish his Rift Maker, which is really needed to start kind of being able to win out in this 1v1. It gives you just that little bit of extra inevitability. And yeah, both mid laners also have their first item completed as well. The Blackfire Torch for Watercat, whereas MBK has gone for the Ludens, much more burst orientated. I'm glad we're not seeing this random Syndra build come out of the Blackfire Torch and to the, like, remember that build that was so awful. Anyway.
They're jumping forward, not able to get the tag to the passive until just now, but they're already taking so much damage. Hack's also gonna have to flash away. Dilly with the flash follow, finishes off the Nami, able to get a little bit of damage down onto RJ. Now it's bumping him on Karn, flashing in with the Cataclysm, finishes off the Braum. Now Dilly, slowed up by the Snot Ball, has another relentless retreat to try to get away, but NBK on the roam. Can he land the scatter? You already know the answer to that question. Syndra gets her first of the game.
Yeah, is it a cannon minion mid here for Watercat? How much of this turret damage are we getting here? It's already at half, so... Oh, Gus also going to secure his Gromp. That's nice as well, but that's Flash now down and Watercat. Oh, great flash.
Flash out from the way, absolutely. Does flash the CC this time, but it might not be enough as Smoke just has all of the crowd control and NBK able to supply the damage just like that. 2 kills now on NBK's Syndra. They have that 2 dragon lead as well. RJ, though, in trouble, gonna get knocked up by the Cyclone here. Guster pays another visit to the Smolder and is gonna be able to claim his 2nd kill. So still signs of life for Elysium. They're not out of this just yet, but I feel like the macro has been in TSI's favor so far.
Yeah, I mean, even that's like a great kill for Gus, and like, you know, is able to get himself ahead and is able to get these bot camps. Like, they're losing at something on the cross map, right? Harold's about to die. CZI also can't push out here and threaten this top lane tower either, because he knows or should know that the enemy team is towards this top side. I feel like NBK needs to get dove here.
The minion wave is gone. They are going to go for the dive. They do have the damage, and they get everybody out. So well-executed dive there for Elysium. Arrow tanking the turret. Absolutely wonderful there as well. Smoke going to be able to teleport down to defend that bot lane tier 1.
Yeah, but this should give CZI the time up here in the top lane to get a big chunk onto this tower, you know, that he can ghost and just run at RJ. Oh, RJ's just going to call down Mom, I guess.
Almost the minion wave. So the sides now are defended for Team Solo Invade. Now the mid-tier 1 is what's under threat, but NBK respawning. Oh, and we got the knock-up in the bot lane. Arrow puts up the Unbreakable. Here comes Haman Karn. Piloting Shelly does go for the turret. So that is going to be feats of strength. Flashing forward. Oh, wants a little bit more. Arrow able to flash away, and that time Haman Karn going for the Battle Herald. Does find the EQ combo on a Dilly. The Cataclysm, beautiful from the jungler as well. Where's the damage? Call the Forge God, comes out. There's the first kill onto the Braum, and the health bars disappearing for Elysium. Is that the triple for the Ornn Assassin Mage? Indeed, the top laner for TSI getting it done.
Yeah.
Sterling just air coming out though as Watercat moves over.
That's gonna be a kill.
Okay. So Watercat gets one back, but still a massive trade up for TSI overall. They get the turret and they go 3 for 2 in the fight.
Yeah, that is one turret coming back at least now for the side of Elysium, and that was some uninterrupted time for Gwen to get some more levels and things like that, but hasn't really finished anything. You can see that this is 2 full items now completed for this Ornn. Having that Thornmail to cut down on that Gwen's healing, cut through that Riftmaker healing. Oh man, this is going to be a hard drag fight, I think, for Elysium, but they got to go for it.
They have the positioning right now, so that's different from both of the, well, at least the first dragon. The second dragon, they had the positioning, then just kind of split up at the worst possible moment. But they've started it up now. I think they should be able to lock away this first Cloud Dragon. And Haman Karn, you can see, isn't even really going for it. He's like, guys, it's all right. We don't have the positioning. We can give them one dragon. We're still scaling. Not a big deal. Looking for some damage on the mid-tier 1 now. RJ gonna get tagged by the Covering Bolt, and CZI with the needlework trying to run down this motor, but Haman Karn, the beautiful peel to get that Gwen off of his AD carry, but now Smoke will have to be sacrificed. But the tidal wave is massive, finds a knockup onto 3 members, and the EQ with a re-engage gives the double kill over to RJ, and just like that, just when you think it's a swing for Elysium, Team Solo Invade retake control.
Yeah, the pendulum swings back immediately, and Elysium TSI just takes a huge win off the back of that. It was a shutdown going over for Gwen, but there just isn't this lead kind of coming out here for CZI that I was really expecting them to be able to get in this matchup. We see Smolders really itemizing as hard as possible for defense, has already completed that shield bow, which is a very strange rush, but it makes sense, right? You know the enemy team is just going to be trying to dogpile onto you as hard as possible.
Absolutely. A little bit contrary to what he was saying on Otter Talk earlier, right? He's talking about like, oh, no, I'm not a big deal. It's NBK is the real carry. Well, why are you itemizing so defensively then, RJ? He knows that he is a big threat as well. And obviously Elysium also know. So it definitely feels like pretty intelligent item choice. Try to maximize uptime for the Smolder. And I gotta say, Team Solo Invade have been doing a great job so far playing around him as well. I mean, we've seen Haman Karn and Ack in multiple fights already, and Smoke as well, just doing so much work in terms of creating the space for RJ and NBK to do the damage. Really well for him so far.
Yeah, and this is kind of my worry is, so CZI is not winning right now, right? He needs to win in the side lane. It's not enough that like he's like defending his tower or whatever and he's not allowing Smoke to do anything. It's you need to start pushing up and creating space for your team, because your team isn't that far ahead and there isn't really anything on the map to play for at the current moment. Oh my god, look at that damage onto Arrow from MBK.
It's 2 items for the Syndra. Ludens plus the Shadow Flame now completed. Rotation down for Hax and Haman. They like to defend their bot tier 1 once again. Otacon, as we can see, or new guy, as we like to call him, just now joining us on the Rift. But I completely agree with what you were talking about with CZI. I mean, went for the Gwen on the R5. We love the idea in the draft, right? But he has not really been able to find very much effect with the pick. You know, you said it. He needs to be a pressure point for his team with this top lane counter pick, and it just hasn't really been able to make it work just yet.
Mm-hmm. And the first ornament is there on top of the tree. His Hollow Radiance has been upgraded.
Christmas coming early. Arrow puts up the Unbreakable. Teams jockey for position in this bot side river. Couple of minutes out on that next dragon as well. Team Solo Invade going to be threatening the soul point. Could end up being a really decisive team fight in terms of, you know, the momentum of this game, with both the dragon and the Otacon, you know, presumably going to be available at the same time on this bottom side.
Yeah. And Smolder's stacking up there. I just saw that we're at 207 stacks already at 21 minutes. That 250 mark is really quickly approaching.
Nice pace for RJ. If he does have that 225 breakpoint for the next big team fight, that could end up deciding things. Does obviously have those 2 items completed as well. I don't know if he'll have time to go back. The Smolder sitting on a good amount of gold right now as well. He does have the teleport also. 1350. Might not quite be enough to get him that 3rd item.
All right, and both top laners holding on to their ults, not deciding that they want to fight to the death, because I feel like everybody is phased on this dragon, right? Because whoever wins this dragon fight's also going to get Otacon. It feels like this game's kind of in balance, right? That if TSI can take this, I feel like the game's firmly theirs, and if Elysium take it, it at least is a shot back into the game, right? It's not a guaranteed win or anything by that means, but it's at least a chance.
Yeah, I mean, like we said earlier, while Team Solo Invade's draft does scale extraordinarily well, it's not like, oh, the engage from Haman Karn goes in, finds an on an arrow. Glacial Fisher coming out in response. A lot of damage going to be tanked by the Jarvan. He tries to flash away. The Spiraling Despair is already connected in the shutdown. Goes over to Watercat. The
Gus is on him.
Finish off the way, and RJ gets taken down as Dilly dashes forward. It's a massive win for Elysium so far. Can NBK turn things around? Guster goes back in, but he's already used the Cyclone. The Severing Bolt comes down. NBK forced the flash away, but Guster going down so low as well. It's going to be a kill back over for Hax, and now Smoke forced the flash away. Dilly dashing forward, but he dashes right into the scatter, and NBK carries through the team fight for TSI.
Bro, and CZI didn't teleport to this play? Come on, man.
Oh man, the Gwen, where's the Gwen is here now, but yeah, CZI I guess wasn't involved at all. I mean, I guess you could say that Elysium just weren't quite ready to fight there. It was Haman Karn who started things out with the Flag and Dragon Gauge, right? But feels like maybe there was an opportunity for CZI to have some kind of impact if he teleported immediately.
Yeah, or
get out now.
Or just was even, you know, getting pressure somewhere or catching a wave. Like, I don't know what he did. I think he just walked out of base after that reset, didn't he?
Sure, I didn't see. Now we can see Team Solo Invade moving into the river to try to establish some control. Smoke leading the charge on this very tanky Ornn. Come on, Karn.
Okay, Dilly's here and has a really, really big spike. Infinity Edge and Last Whisper done.
Probably does have his stacks as well, and did complete that 3rd item also for RJ. Arrow getting chunked out a bit, forced to jump back over towards Dilly. Dragon getting leashed by Elysium, will reset back into the pit. Mid has been pushed up. Minions dying to the turret right now for Elysium. Team Solo Invade trying to force their hand. Dragon
CZI is on this flank. Can't hit on him.
CZI able to jump onto Haman Karn, but the Jarvan does have the EQ to disengage. Actually going to use it to go in to follow up on the scatter, but now the Jarvan might be in trouble. Does go for the Cataclysm onto 2, the Tidal Wave for the extra CC. It's a double kill for NBK, and RJ flapping over the wall. He's going to get taken down, but Dilly gets the power unleashed onto him. A triple kill for NBK, the true carry indeed. That should be enough to get Team Solo Invade up to their soul point. Watercat desperately trying to have something to say about this, but just a way in a Braum, I don't think is enough to triumph in the 2v3. Trying to stick around. Watercat not giving up on this play, trying to land the skill shots, lower these health bars a little bit, and there is no smite available for Team Solo Invade, so even if the Way can just snipe the dragon, that could end up being huge.
Yeah, MBK just has to save his burst, right? We just Orn W auto and all of this stuff. There you go.
Team Solo Invade, they win the team fight, they get their third dragon, and they are in prime position now to take this game number 1.
Yeah, you gotta feel that they're gonna be the winners of this one. There's just so much damage on their team, and do you have this pause coming through? Okay.
Connection issues, I assume. We'll get an
Yeah.
get an update. We'll let you guys know.
So take some stock here, breathe, kind of at what's happening, right? So it's a 4.5k gold leads now for TSI. Probably have the better late game scaling team. You know, pretty close to Rabadon's being done for this Syndra as well. There's a lot that Elysium have to worry about at this point, and it feels like unless there's some sort of throw now from TSI, it's their game to win.
Yeah, it definitely does feel that way. I mean, there's still a chance for Elysium to have that kind of clinical team fight where, I mean, it feels like you have to focus the Syndra at this point, right? Even though Smolder is stacked, and, you know, he's obviously really strong as well, but NBK has been doing the heavy lifting at 8-1-5 right now on that Syndra, close to death cap, like you mentioned. In fact, I see him in base right now, so maybe he's still a little bit short on the gold for that. But the Syndra has been impossible for Elysium to deal with, it feels.
Yeah, very much so. Has 10 stacks on the book. Wish we had bought, you know, actually upgraded the Medjais instead of buying the second Needlessly Large Rod, but that's probably the safer play, and it's probably the better play overall, but I'm just disappointed.
We enjoy book reading, Premier League. We're big fans of being well read. And it's not too late. It's still good go for the Medjai's completion as well, but I do think it's pretty fair to just try and get towards that death cap as soon as possible. But yeah, I mean, it just feels like for Elysium, you know, we got to go back, I think, to the discussion of the Gwen in particular. You know, the Gwen that did come through on R5, that CZI just hasn't been able to make it work quite yet. Do you feel like we're at the point in the game, Storm, where Elysium almost have to now rely on side laning at this point? You know, it's like a team fight is theoretically doable, but what do you feel like are their best chances of success at this point in order to try and make the comeback happen?
Yeah, I think it's really gotten to the point where they have to start looking for just picks, right? They have to find someone isolated and get a pick onto them. They have, you know, way damage, and they have Braum stun, and they had the culling to unleash to get some of these. But I really think the real thing of it is I think Guster Posey is cannot play these team fights whatsoever anymore, right? They are so behind on this Wukong. They're level 12 only. They're behind Smolder in levels, right? That's not a good thing to see. Jungle XP gonna have to be one hell of a drug for Guster at this point. Some of that catch up XP, but there's just not a lot I feel you can really do as this Wukong right now. You know, you're only one item completed. You haven't finished your second. There's so many components in his inventory. I'm guessing it's a cleaver. I think that's what towards most of these items are. It could also be that Sterix gauge, but you know, hasn't really built any health for it to be worth it.
Sterix doesn't build out of Kindle Gem, I don't think. It's the Tunneler,
yes, it's Tunneler only, right?
Yeah. So probably gonna be that Black Cleaver like you initially mentioned. Yeah, I mean, it feels like, again, I think the team fight can theoretically work, but it has to be guerrilla tactics at this point for Elysium. Like, you got to be coming from at least 3 different angles to try to get on top of these carries, the Syndra and the Smolder, before they get out multiple rotations. Because if you have Smolder with any kind of significant uptime, if you have Syndra able to get off multiple scatters in a fight, you're just not winning.
Yeah. And It's kind of the thing of I haven't seen Arrow block an Ornn ult either. I don't want to really call like one particular person out. It has been that Smoke has been placing it to where Braum has not been in these fights, like we saw last time. You know, Braum was wrapping towards the front of that banana brush, and we threw the ult down towards CZI on that Gwen. But it's just been that thing. If that's one of the really huge strengths of Braum into Ornn, and it was why, like in pro, it's basically like you can't blind Ornn when Braum is up, because it means your whole team's like engaged theoretically doesn't work. But it's just been the thing of we've been able to force out this unbreakable. You know, hacks on the Nami has forced it out, and I'm really worried that I don't think this game's going to go that much longer. I think there's going to be a Baron fight here pretty soon, as that has spawned on the map. It is 25.5 minutes into the game. And I think it's going to be a pretty defensive game win. And I think we are back if we're able to rotate it over.
Yeah, looks like we're going to be getting back into the gameplay right now. Fantastic. Oh yeah, I mean, if we see Team Solo Invade able to quickly accelerate the game from here and actually have a quick, clean ending with, like, as we've been talking about, like a really heavy scaling draft, I mean, that would be, you know, we were talking about momentum earlier during Outer Talk. I think that would be massive in terms of their momentum in this match if you're able to win a decisive game one with, like, a really greedy draft like this. I mean, Elysium's going to feel that for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, we can see Arrow is down towards the spot lane, just clearing out vision that he isn't up in this top side to kind of establish wards. So this is going to be the chance for TSI to go into the enemy red buff. RJ getting ran at.
By the passive. Severing Bolt will connect there as well, but the missing health damage. So
that's all 5 TSI people coming in here. Smoke does have an angle for an ult.
For it, thinking about it. Gonna pull the trigger just yet. Mid-wave going to be reset. You can see CZI moving down towards the bottom side of the map. Does have teleport available right now.
Yeah, it has finally finished this Nashor's Tooth now, so does have that, so he can start really melting towers if given any time in the side lane, but I don't think this is a safe place to be, right? He can't be down here.
Team Solo Invade just kind of moving around as a unit. Guster able to smite that away, secures his own blue buff. That feels nice for the Wukong. Getting some of that catch-up jungle XP like you're calling for, Storm.
Yep. Shout out to Riot and doing that. Absolutely disgusting mechanic.
Top in time for Worlds, but maybe something to take a look at for next season. We'll see if we get around to it. But the Wukong was able to secure his Gromp just then as well, so Duff Guster and Team Solo Invade. They're not over-eager. They know that they're in a good spot in this game, and it seems like they're okay to just wait for the Dragon Soul. They're not in a hurry. Take their time with this one.
I mean, that's fully what we're kind of expecting, right? They are the ones with all the momentum and all the time on their side. It's not like Elysium's gonna hit like 4 or 5 items and be like, okay, we win the game now, you know? Our Lucian finally has their, you know, whatever he builds next. Like, I don't even know what it matters at this point. Like, it's some sort of Zeal item, I guess.
Maybe a rapid fire cannon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been really difficult for Dilly, you know, trying to dash in, and trying to dodge all of Syndra's stuff. You know, it does maybe a little bit of extra range. Could go a long way for the Lucian, perhaps. Smoke not able to find the knock up there.
Arrow's just dead, isn't he?
He's gonna jump over to CZI. And we'll be able to make it out with still half of his health bar intact. But wasn't able to get that vision down onto the Otacon. I'm pretty sure that's what the Braum was actually fishing for. But he wasn't. Oh, Fish is on the other team, obviously.
Yeah.
Wasn't able to get that vision control. And Solo Invade, they're doing a great job of putting up their own wards and denying information from Elysium.
Yeah, I really feel like at this point, like, I guess you morally want to keep this mid lane tower up just because it's affording you so much kind of like invisible pressure, but I really feel like you could just group up to take this top lane tier 1 that's on the side of Elysium, right? It's just freestanding gold for your team. It leads into like a natural Baron progression.
It's fair, but you can't send too many people up there as TSI because obviously Otacon is still alive on the complete opposite side of the map. Don't want to be giving that window over to Elysium to potentially rush that one down. Guster now in a little bit of an aggressive position. Does have the W to get back out of the Baron pit. Able to clear the ward. Gets away. Arrow and Watercat running some interference, as we could see there as well. So Elysium, I want to... Oh, Arrow wrapped up by the flag and drag the Aqua Prison there as well. But the Braum tanky enough to survive. Dilly is able to dash away from that searing charge from Smoke. A couple of close calls there for Elysium, but they do get everybody out.
Yeah. You want to call out Syndra is finished her hat. The Rabadon's death cap is done now for MBK, and I'm pretty sure they're very close to 16 as well. So that is going to be disgusting.
Look at setup here in the river. They've got the control ward down in the banana brush. They're able to immediately start up this dragon. Monkarn in the line rush. Gus immediately loses almost entire health bar. Has to flash away. Monkarn with the Cataclysm re-engage. Maybe a bridge too far. Gets taken down by Dilly. And now CZI on the off angle. NBK and RJ though still alive for Team Solo Invade, but they're running out of front line. Smoke over the scatter, connects onto CZI, he immediately dies. The flashbang for RJ, and the Cyclone is not enough to secure the kill. Dilly now flashing forward, but that's damage onto an Ornn, and the Smolder is right there. It's a double for Syndra, a double for the Smolder. Somebody else got a kill thrown in there as well, but it's going to be Team Solo Invade getting the Dragon Soul, and almost assuredly the Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, that was an incredible fight. I'm almost certain it was Watercat just getting so much damage with that Spiraling Despair combo and everything onto the grouped up members of TSI. Just absolutely shredding them, but just not able to finish off those last couple members in their health bars. We saw CZI just got absolutely evaporated, and that was another fight where like an Ornal didn't, like Smoke didn't connect the second part of that R2. That was just an R1 in that fight. So that fight was towards the best case scenario almost, and it still was a really bad loss.
I mean, Elysium did make it close. I mean, they were up the initial 2 kills in that fight. It looked like maybe they were going to be able to wrestle control over the area away from TSI, but I mean, you called that out earlier when I asked you about the team fights. You know, it's just a little bit too difficult this late in the game for Elysium.
NBK killed him.
Oh, man, just finds Lucian on the mid-wave. Pops him with the Unleashed Power, level 16, obviously, there on the Syndra. Does now have the book completed as well. So stacking up some extra pages. And Baron now certainly going to go over. Arrow, be able to get the information. Guster can maybe get in here for a miracle kill. He goes in pretty early, though. The Cataclysm comes down, and the Wukong is out of there. Beautifully played by Team Solo Invade. They're able to secure the Nash. And now they should be able to just walk it in from here.
Yeah, just going to go down and make sure to grab this new guy down here in the bot lane as well. Just ensure that there isn't any, you know, comeback happening.
Yeah. Obviously, without their jungler, Elysium not going to have anything to say about this one. I would like to see Team Solo Invade try to end with this Baron. I mean, yes, like you don't have to end with this Baron, but they should have everything that they need, right? The carries are so ridiculously strong. You have Dragon Soul already. I'd like to see a push to end. They've got it for 2 minutes. See if they can do it.
Yeah, I think it's just the march down top lane, or a 4-1, whichever. Oh my god, look at the AP on NBK, bro. Guy's 870 ability power.
That's pretty gross. It is just popping people right now.
Yeah,
4-1 at the moment. 4 in mid. Smoke off towards the top side. Does not have the teleport available at the moment. So if Elysium identify this, they could try to go for an aggressive play while TSI are split.
Yeah,
I mean, even in a 5v4, I don't know if they can win.
I don't think they can.
All right, here comes the minion wave. Mid inhibitor turret going to be the first one under fire. CZI split right now, trying to match Smoke's pressure up towards the top side. Another nice scatter landing. That's going to be an Aqua Prison as well. Arrow down to half. The minion wave does get cleared out, though, except for this pesky cannon minion. That's still doing some work. Meanwhile, the top tier 2 will fall. CZI not able to defend it. And now the mid wave coming in. The screws really getting tightened onto Elysium right now.
Gus
Gus
goes
is
in.
forced to go for a desperate engage, but he does immediately die to the Syndra damage. Haman Karn with a well-timed counter engage as well. Prevents Dilly from following up at all. In comes RJ with Mom, finishes off the Lucian. CZI gonna get chased down here towards the top side as well. And with that, we are looking at the end of game number 1. Team Solo Invade will indeed be able to end with this Baron buff. Very clean victory for your number 1 seed.
Yeah. Pretty easy win almost, it seems, that TSI really just put on a clinic that whole game, right? It felt like to me that I don't think there was ever a point in that game where Elysium was on top. Do you think there was?
There was
I
that
can't recall.
brief moment where Dilly got the double kill in the bot lane and they
Yeah.
were up 3-2. That was kind of the moment right there where it was like, okay, like this is what Elysium need. They have this really strong bot lane, the Lucian Braum, right? If Dilly is ahead, they can move the Lucian Braum around the map to take some of these objectives and snowball the game from there. But they weren't able to do it. It felt like Team Solo Invade were quicker to all of those early neutrals. You know, they knew that they had the scaling advantage, so they just got those early neutrals. They knew that if Elysium weren't snowballing the early game, then TSI weren't really going to be under any threat with this composition, and they played it out well. But for the side of Elysium Storm, I feel like we do have to be a little bit critical. I mean, we talked a little bit during the
Yeah.
game about how CZI's Gwen wasn't really able to find the impact that we were hoping to see. And I just felt like Elysium didn't really, properly identify that they needed to play more aggressively towards the early stages.
Yeah, I just think that they didn't go in enough, right? That you had all this ability to, and it really felt to me like the Wukong was the part of this comp that just did not fit whatsoever. Right? That Wukong is this jungler who needs to farm early and doesn't offer, any sort of CC. That how do you gank for any of these lanes, right? You don't have any reliable CC from your Hui or your Gwen. That there just wasn't enough early action kind of being able to be played for. That Braum Arrow wasn't able to rotate around with Gus as much as I thought was going to happen. I really thought that this was going to kind of be the, at a certain point, it was going to be, have fun getting some solo levels down there, Dilly. It's me and Gus kind of walking around and being the goon squad, but none of that kind of grouping up happened. And yeah, it was just all this time was given. That the first 6 levels before ults, I was really thinking there's going to be a huge amount of wins available for Elysium. I was thinking they were going to get ahead really early, but they just didn't. There was that one point of the game where they got off of basically the enemy team engaging into them, that they got that double kill for their Lucian. I was kind of going, okay, this is it. This is the point. This is where we start putting our foot down and we, get step on that gas and we get ahead. And they just didn't. They were content to coast, and it really cost them.
Yeah, I mean, that's a narrative point that we've touched on a little bit as well, right? The fact that Guster, Dilly, and Arrow have so much synergy together, right? From all of their experience playing together. You're talking about how you were hoping to see Arrow and Guster link up, but I mean, I feel like you could just include Lucian in that. Like, just send the way down into the bot lane, like, really early on into the game. Just set up your Lucian Braum in the mid lane and use that as your locus of power to try to control other parts of the map. But exactly like you said, it just felt like Elysium were a little bit too complacent in those early stages. It's game 1, maybe they just hadn't quite woken up yet, maybe they weren't warmed up yet. But it definitely did feel like Team Solo Invade had a pretty comfortable time of things here in this first game. Who's our PG Storm?
I really think it's got to go to MBK on the Syndra. Even though RJ did incredible and had all that damage and stuff, there was a lot of team fights that just were won because MBK just got to press R onto Dilly or Watercat and just immediately evaporated them, right? I also could not. I counted so many different scatter the weeks that hit onto key targets as well, right? So I'm leaning towards MBK on Syndra.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you there, Storm. NBK, we've seen him pop off on this pick before, and he did it once again. Did not disappoint whatsoever. It controlled so many of those team fights, exactly like you're talking about, with so many amazing scatters. Did a lot of the heavy lifting. Actually, get the victory here, I think.
I also want to shout out Smoke as well.
Oh, yeah,
I think Ornn in the top lane, he played that game so well, right? None of his ults got blocked. basically dog walked CZI, right? Like Gwen is supposed to start winning that matchup. I didn't see CZI ever start winning that matchup. There was never a point where I was like, wow, he's getting the all-in kill here or anything. He never even like tried it or threatened it. So like I think Smoke definitely deserves a lot of praise for that game. I think they played incredibly well.
Yeah, there was that one crazy fight in the bot lane as well. You know, Orin had 3
Yeah.
kills this game. He got all 3 of
Yeah.
those kills in the same fight. He picked up the triple kill. It was like, oh, neither one of my carries is here. Fine, I'll do it myself. He
Yeah.
just destroyed them. I thought Haman Karn had an amazing game on the Jarvan as well. Definitely everybody showing up for Team Solo Invade in this one to get them that very convincing game victory. Let's see, though. I mean, we're expecting a competitive series tonight, Storm. Nobody predicted a 3-0 earlier on Otter Talk, so we'll see if Elysium can bounce back in game number 2. All right, everybody, welcome back. Sorry for the little bit of a delay there. Technical issues on my end. Do apologize, but hopefully I'll be able to hear sound for this next game, which would be absolutely fantastic, Storm. Elysium are definitely hoping to hear some different sounds as well, I think. Thoughts as they move over to the blue side? What are we looking for Elysium's Game 2 draft?
I think that it's very much, if you're taking blue side, you think there's a pivotal piece, right? That you think your comp needs. What champion is that? I have absolutely no idea. I thought it was going to be some sort of jungle champion, but they've taken away the Xin Zhao, the Fiddlesticks. They're still scared of that from the TSI side. Their Ivern is gone, probably is going to be gone this whole 5 games. Shout out to the Tree Man and the fastest clear time in the game. You're such a weird champion. I love you, Ivern. Zoe also banned. This Jack's also going to get banned again. Okay, so what was the broken pick? It's Sivir. Do we agree with this after the Sivir nerfs?
Oh, yeah. What were the Sivir nerfs again?
Let me actually check what exactly they were, but I'm pretty sure it was base stats and stuff. Was it not? Oh my god, there's so many.
Sivir was nerfed, or the Sivir was banned by Elysium in the previous game when they were on red side. So they left it open clearly with the intention of first picking it. They banned away the Aphelios now instead. The Jinx gonna get taken here for the side of RJ. You know, that's something that we referenced Billy playing quite a lot. So it feels like a little bit of a denial pick there for RJ to go ahead and scoop that one up, and the Volibear gonna get locked away on R2. Did you find those Sivir nerfs?
Yeah, it's there was cooldown to her ult, and then the other thing is the most recent one was they nerfed her AD scaling on her Q.
Interesting. Right.
So it went from 100 base 100 to 85. So that's quite a sizable nerf, actually, I think.
Feels pretty significant.
So we picked Sivir Seraphine. Not really in love with that combo or pairing, but I mean the enemy team is a Jinx, right? It's not like they're rotating Jinx somewhere else and rocking up with a really aggressive bot lane that could really punish these two. So I kind of get it. The Volibear for the side of TSI, I think we've both kind of said we're really starting to fall out of favor with this jungler.
Well, the AP build specifically, which was also nerfed again on this patch, the Cosmic Drive into like the Quick Blades or whatever. That build has been nerfed repeatedly. But I still think if you want to go like full tank Volibear, or even there's like some AD builds, if you want to go almost like a bruisery kind of Volibear, that is still really strong. That has not been nerfed at all. So I'm hoping we see something like that as opposed to the same old Cosmic Drive rush. We'll have to wait and see. If he does end up going Cosmic Drive, that would already be a lot of AP with TSI locking away that Mordekaiser as well.
Yeah, that's also like an absolutely insane pick to me. I guess it's like CZI doesn't, it's TSI's taking it, not CZI, because I was about to be like, but man, Smoke plays like the Darius and the Set and all these things that just destroy Mordekaiser. But oh right, that's not that guy. CZI's on the other team, and Gwen, which is one of like, I think the really good answers into Mordekaiser has already been taken away because we're playing Fearless, baby.
So it could just be a read then that Smoke thinks CZI is not going to have a good answer into this. Very interested to see what the Elysium top laner does decide to go for as far as the second BAM phase is concerned. Going to take away the Veigar away from Watercat, as well as that Alistar away from Arrow, definitely one of Arrow's favorites. So TSI respecting the flex potential of the Seraphine, right? Thinking that maybe could go towards the mid lane, and they don't want to see the Alistar. Would be a great pairing alongside the Sivir, right? And then
I did just immediately, oh my god. Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry, it's Karma bot lane. I was about to be mad at CZI for picking Karma top lane, but that's okay. Not Karma top lane. I forgot Watercat is one of the few mid laners I still see playing Seraphine mid lane, where she's supposed to be by Riot's mandated will, and keep buffing her and trying to put her there, and all the support players go, she's so fun in the bot lane. I love Seraphine.
Poppy pasta, insert poppy pasta here.
Yeah.
The Karma has been successful for Hacks over there on the side of Team Solo Invade. Did pull it out in Game 3 last week against the Spire. Went 0-3-14. Did Hacks in that game on the Karma. And locking away the Leona here. Pretty interesting. Does feel like that is a pick that could potentially get bullied out a little bit by the Karma. It's a double range advantage, obviously, for TSI with this bot lane, but feels like for Arrow, he's throwing down the gauntlet. Speaking of throwing down the gauntlet,
okay, CZI.
As well now as it used to, but I think it still can work, right, Storm?
Yeah, so you have to be able to buffer the Olaf R, right? You can't do it once you're already in the Death Realm, but if you know how Mordekaiser all works, right? He has the animation, he lifts up his mace as he's pressing R, and you can do it during that window and it does immune it.
Right.
The one thing I will say, this comp looks friggin' impossible for Olaf to play into. Like the isolated 1v1, sure, that is great, but how the hell are you running down a Jinx Karma or like a Volibear being able to like peel off you and stuff? Like this does not feel like an Olaf game to me.
Yeah,
I guess you have the Seraphine to like help you out and give you like some stats and stuff.
The Sivir movement speed as well.
Yeah.
Would be really useful for the Olaf here. And it does feel like a pretty bold choice. And again, right? It's an option for CZI where he's kind of staking the claim that he's going to be a threat in the side lane, right? Like that's kind of what this pick says to me. You don't pick Olaf for team fights. Like if he has the right setup, he can, but that's not the reason you lock in the champions. So I think we need to see CZI put on some more pressure in the laning phase this game. And honestly, if Team Solo Invade are able to read that, they could look to punish it.
Yeah. In solo queue, Olaf runs Ignite Ghost. That guy's not playing with Teleport, right? And I feel like it's kind of the way you have to play it. And the other worry I have is there's also a Yone. We didn't really touch on this 5th pick that has come in for TSI. They've taken Yone. They don't have very much AP on their team. There is just kind of this Mordekaiser because we're hoping and praying that this is Volibear building AD or tank, not Cosmic Drive. Because it seems especially bad into the enemy team, which is all literally just burst damage, basically. I feel is safe to say.
Yeah, the Yone pick is definitely interesting. It does end up being the Seraphine flex into the mid lane, right? Which I don't know if we directly addressed that yet either. But how do you feel about that matchup specifically, the Yone being picked into the Seraphine?
I have no idea how that matchup goes. Like I said, I barely see people playing Seraphine mid lane. It's probably good. The reason I think Yone's good is it's the one ability no one ever talks about. It's his most important ability for lane and everything, and that's his W, right? The old slashy thing where he gets the shield. Yeah. That ability in lane is total BS, right? Because it's you basically can't react to it, and it's a free shield, and it means that he then gets to trade onto you. It's like the Yasuo passive that he needs to function. So I feel like that's probably really good into Seraphine because all of her moves are quite telegraphed. So it's every single time she's trying to chip away at you, you're able to shield some of that away. You can, e-buffer through certain things, I'm guessing, right? Like the root from Seraphine or the slow, I guess it will be almost always. So I'm guessing it's a good matchup, but I can't see Yone actually being able to threaten Seraphine for solo kills or anything like that. I feel like it's just going to be the two of them just kind of trading farm back over and over again. I think the 2v2 of Volibear Yone sounds a lot better than Trundle Seraphine. So
I agree with you there, I think. Yeah.
That's pretty good for TSI.
Yeah, with the Yone last pick, it definitely feels to me like the thought process probably is we've got Volibear AP. He's going to go the AP build. We both know already. He's going to go the AP build. The Mordekaiser is obviously AP as well. So I think the read for TSI is actually we need more physical damage. We can't rely on only Jinx to be our AD threat. So that's kind of what I suspect is maybe the thought process for Team Solo Invade with this pick, as opposed to the Yone being a hard counter into the Seraphine.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be some favorable interactions that you already highlighted for us, but kind of my thoughts on the matter. As far as the full team compositions are concerned, definitely an interesting one. You know, the one thing that you really, you know, a little bit worried about for the side of Team Solo Invade actually is feels like they don't really have a clean way to engage this time around. I mean, last game it was so easy,
Yeah.
right? They had the Ornn, they had the
The Nami.
exactly the tidal wave was giving them so much value in that last game as well. Even the Jarvan also, like it gave them
Yeah.
so much agency in terms of how and when they wanted to fight. They don't really have those clean go buttons this time around. And you know, on the other side, we look at Elysium's composition. You're looking at Leona, Sivir Ultimate. Like, it feels like they now
Yeah,
are the ones that
Seraphine
have a lot
R.
more of these tools. Absolutely.
Yeah. I this game's really hard for me to think about like who's gonna win, because I really don't like either of these compositions very much. Like, I think certain things fit together really well for Elysium, but I don't like how it fits against the TSI comp, right? Like, Elysium basically have like a very normal, in some ways, run at you Sivir comp, right? That they have Sivir, a supportive mage there, instead of being at a support, it's in mid lane. And the Seraphine, right, to further augment these two like bruisers, and the Trundle and the Olaf, who are just going to try and like run rampant. But again, it's like, can you run rampant as Olaf and Trundle, and when the enemy team has Mordekaiser, Volibear, and Yone?
Yeah,
I
it can
don't
be tricky.
think so. I feel like if you're gonna play like Olaf, you're gonna get out brawled by Yone and Volibear. They're kind of like the picks that kind of can stand toe to toe with him.
Yeah,
So
definitely. You know, I will say at least Trundle is going to have an advantage early against the Volibear in a 1v1. That was probably the thought process with that pick specifically, is like Trundle is one of the very, very few champions in the game that actually beats Volibear in the early levels. There's only like, it's like Trundle and maybe one other that I can't think of right now. But those are definitely two of the stronger early game champions. But it definitely does feel like it might be difficult for the engage to actually stick for Elysium. There's some decent kite back on the side of TSI here with Karma, you know, which we already mentioned. The Yone and the Volibear are able to fight back pretty effectively as well. And if Jinx is like kiting back and like kind of able
can get
to
excited and then turn it. Yeah.
going, absolutely. It feels like it might be difficult for Elysium, you know, despite the fact that they have more engage tools, arguably, to actually make that stick. Could end up being. But you want to throw a prediction out there? It's a tough one to call here with this Game 2 Draft Storm, but what are you feeling? What is the gut telling you?
I'm thinking it's TSI. Like, as much as I kind of like what Elysium has, I think TSI just has direct counters into what they're doing. Whether their comp like fits together overall, I'm kind of uncertain of. The real worry I have for them is their lack of wave clear, right? If this early game is a disaster for TSI, they don't have a comeback mechanic. The game's over, right? This is one of those games that it's the possibility of if there's some level 1 fight or an early dragon where it goes 5-0 or something, your team is screwed, like, completely. But I still think just overall they have the advantages over into what Elysium is trying to do in the direct counters. So I think it's a TSI win.
Interesting. Well, I'm actually going to predict against you again here, Storm. I think we're going to go AP Volibear, and I think that build is not good, and I think that TSI are not going to have enough frontline to protect their Jinx. But we'll see what happens. Could definitely be anybody's Nexus here in game number 2. One more quick break, guys, and then on to the Rift for our game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, excellent news. I can now hear sounds. Absolutely amazing. Let's take a look here, Storm. Anything noteworthy for our level level 1? Excuse me.
I don't think so. I am going to say you are going to be subject to the awful Seraphine noises this game, so...
A little bit bittersweet, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
There is a spin-off happening in the mid lane, and I think Watercat is winning the spin war.
What do you think about the emote battle? Oh,
Oh,
Arrow is going to
Arrow.
be taking the line brush, and that is now fair game on the Leona. Hunting season for Team
Yep.
Solo Invade. They're not actually able to secure the bounty on the Leona. He will escape.
Minions have spawned.
Dance battle happening towards the top side there as well, as we can see. Oh, the double ward for Team Solo Invade. Not a great start.
Yep. This is going to be some tremendous sweeper value from Olaf.
Trundle.
Sorry.
Maybe if he gets a sweeper
Trundle.
sooner.
Yeah, if he ever did, but no, he's just going to go start on the vision.
Oh, yeah, a little bit late start, actually, for the Trundle there
Yeah.
as well. Wanted to get the deep ward
Oh.
onto Hamon's red buff. Going to be able to dodge away from those wards on the Raptors, so hides the information, but 10 seconds slow on the start of that first camp. Pretty significant.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
think
Hamon
this
with
is-
the my clear there. Sky Splitter on
Yeah.
drugs. This smites away the red. Oh, he's going to go for maximum efficiency, whereas the Trundle is going to be a little bit slower on this initial clear. Look out for it.
Yeah, it's one of those things of like, how much does this actually matter? As a non-jungler, right? It's like, does being that 5 seconds faster actually matter, or do you just clear fast enough that it doesn't?
I mean,
So-
it depends. The answer
Yeah.
is it just depends. If the Volibear gets the full clear, it looks like they're not going to be competing for the same Scuttle Crab, so
Yeah.
likely it will not matter. Ooh, but what is this? Hamonkarn maybe has the read. Oh yeah, he sees the Trundle on the Raptors. Well, actually going to look for potentially a gank towards mid lane. Watercat getting shut down super low. The early roam from
There's
Hack is a
flash.
flash out from the Seraphine flash follow for NBK. He has the Q3, looks for it, finds it. NBK with the first blood. And Olaf just died in the top lane as well. Guster in trouble also. We have Arrow flying in here to try to peel for the jungler. NBK ignited, gets the knockup, gets another shield. because
shield.
Why doesn't Yone get a shield? Of course he gets a shield. Now Dilly with the roam
Armin.
over with the boomerang blade, turns it around, and NBK survives. He gets another shield.
He's dead.
And
Dilly
he's-
kills him.
Oh,
Dilly
he's
kills
surely, he's going to die. He is going to die,
Yeah.
but Dilly, is getting wrapped
Okay.
around on as well.
Dilly's
and the
dead.
flash in for RJ, and Dilly's gonna go down as well. I think that's every single member of Elysium has died 3.5 minutes into the game.
Okay, so the early game disaster has happened, but it has not happened for the team I was worried it was going to happen for. Oh dear God.
What a read. I mean, the early roam from Hacks is kind of what started all that off.
Yep.
And NBK obviously trading very well with this R5 Yone in the mid lane as well. Was a big player in that fight.
Yeah. I just wonder. Well, I guess Harman Karn will have $1 million, so he is full free to build AP now. Buy a book, man. Do what calls to you.
If you get 2 kills 3 minutes into the game, then you know what? Build
Yeah.
whatever the hell you want. It doesn't even
Yeah.
matter at that point. See,
Oh,
as
man.
we can see with the Aether Wisp already in inventory, he is going for Mage Bear.
Yeah.
Magical Bear. So, see how that does end up going for him. You know, with an early lead, that's the one thing that build does for Volibear, right? It allows you to snowball the game so very effectively.
Okay, so we have no kill pressure bot lane anymore because our Leona doesn't have Ignite or Flash. And the enemy team still has Cleanse.
Kill pressure here in the top lane. Smoke gonna get
Yeah.
pillared in just a moment. Doesn't have the flash either, but a
Oh, what a
beautiful
great-
Death's Grasp pulls them both backwards, and Smoke just able to walk that one off.
Yep. Doesn't have Flash notably, so that was a really good gank opportunity. Is Gus going to go again for something? I don't think so. I don't think Watercat really offers very much in this fight.
He was pretty low on mana as well there on the Seraphine.
Yeah.
Dragon being taken for TSI. Just like last game, Storm, they just are showing up to all these early objectives, and once again, they're just going to get this first dragon for free.
Yep.
BK not able to find the knock up there, but... Oh, Arrow is still taking a lot of damage. Going to get tethered by the Karma, but Hack's not going to fully commit for that one. Come on, Karn getting a little bit greedy there. He got the dragon already. Now he wants the chickens. Jeez.
Yeah, I would say greed is smoke up here. Bro, you have teleport. Like, I don't know, man. This is, yeah, he has 6 now in Ragnarok. Like, I don't know.
For the Mordekaiser.
Okay.
It is a cannon wave, so he's now going to complete the recall. He's going to channel teleport. He's probably going to lose 1 minion as the wave does come in. Aggressive teleport into the lane. But CCI is also low mana here.
Yeah.
And the Olaf will back away. Guster waiting in the brush here in bot lane, going for the lane gank potentially.
That's got to be an overplay. Yeah. They got to know that Arrow isn't going to walk up like this.
The health advantage as well. And Arrow, he's like kind of trying to look juicy. He's like walking up to the minion waves. Hey, you want to poke me, don't you? You go ahead, poke me. Do it. You know you want to. They don't want. They do not want to find the Trundle in the bush. No, sir.
Yeah.
And Guster wasting a lot of time down here. He's trying to wait patiently for an angle. Now he's going to pop the Frozen Domain, going to put the pillar onto RJ. The Jinx doesn't have flash. Does put down the Flame Chompers, though, and that is the end of that. Hax even trying to get a little bit aggressive with the counter tether. But in the end, they're spending a lot of time, not getting a whole lot done.
Oh, and look at Hum Karn just immediately beelining into the topside jungle here. Gonna find this Gromp and maybe even the Wolves. Oh, this is gonna be bad for Gus.
His lead. I assume the Bear is going to have at level 6 probably after 1 or 2 more camps as well. Yeah, I think just this Gromp is going to be enough to get him there. There it is. So could even look for an aggressive play towards CZI right now, knowing that Gustro's on the other side of the map. You know, Olaf, not the most diveable champion. So maybe we'll just be content with the counter. But Arrow, and then roam towards the top side, gonna face check a Bear. And is gonna, oh, well, he doesn't like that very much, but at least Watercat, oh, actually goes for the, I don't know about that one, Arrow.
God.
Doesn't have Guster here now, but Leone at the flash, and his fate was sealed the moment he went in with that Xenoblade. But a charm onto 2. So Mega Death Rocket makes Watercat think better of it. Was a lot of damage there onto Haman, but even more onto the Leona. 6-1 now on the scoreboard.
Okay. This might be one of those games that is I don't know how you're going to be able to play this one out, to be honest with you. This is such a devastating early game lead already. Grub's here getting started up. The Grubulon's going to die. We already have Hacks up here to make sure that there's no funny business there. You see Leona's back down bots. That's going to be all 3 Grubs going over for this team that has so many people who excel in the side lane. Oh, dire. God. Yeah.
Looking very dire for Elysium right now. And they, this time around, they do not really scale well with this composition at all. It's like just Sivir. And putting all of your eggs in the Sivir basket when there's like Mordekaiser, Volibear, on the enemy team doesn't sound like a very safe basket, Storm.
No, it does not. It sounds like there's a lot of holes in that basket. Oh, this might be a kill top lane. Okay.
Ragnarok, Smoke gonna try to flash away, but
we missed a Q.
I mean, I still feel like maybe he could have just kept pressing forward, even with the missed Q.
No, he didn't.
You don't think so?
No, because his Ragnarok ends, and now Smoke has ult. Smoke has ult, right? Because he was able to flash away and build the distance. This is
low right now.
Yeah.
Let's clear out the minion wave.
He just pressed W. He should... Okay, he's just going to back away and take a reset here. I was about to say, he should die for that. But,
to retreat in time. CZI not able to punish him. And once again, we're looking at a top lane matchup that's quite even. It feels like Smoke is just like neutralizing CZI basically. In 2 games in a row now, CZI has gone for these aggressive picks into the top lane, and Smoke's just been like, okay, you want to do that? Let's just farm some minions. And CZI hasn't really had too much to say about it.
And CZI, we do see, is going for this Ravenous Hydra first, right? So this is full side lane. I am never sticking around Olaf build.
Second dragon going to be going over as well. Guster trying to maneuver his way towards this pit, but it's already gone. Elysium are just too late to the party. Fate sealed on a 3! NBK finding a monster engage. Watercat trying to follow the Seraphine in the middle of the entire enemy team. The Yone will go down, but RJ with the passive run, and look at that. Jinx ready to do the work. Arrow goes in to sacrifice himself to get the rest of the team out to safety, but no safety will be found as Haman Karn on the big old bear. Oh, he's taunting him. Oh my god, it's the mental destroyer. And the zap, the triple kill for RJ. Oh man, that might just be a wrap on the series, Storm. That was brutal.
Yeah, that feels to me like it might be the series just going over. Oh, CZI gonna get the soul kill?
Now,
Nope.
I think the death realm came out in time there. Not
Yeah.
it, CZI. He had to go for something, right?
Yeah.
The team is losing so hard on the other side of the map. He had to try to go for the win in the 1v1, but not able to find it. Smoke just read him like a book.
So I will say for Watercat, I'm pretty sure that was a 4-man ult Seraphine ult that was landed, right? When coming in on the flank, when we got into the middle of the enemy team. Like, there was a lot of work done by that Seraphine there, but it just starting to feel hopeless.
I mean, yes, it was a good ultimate, and like I guess he had a good angle for the ultimate, but like the Seraphine was completely alone. It was in the middle of four enemy champions. Like
Is
even
this
if you
a kill?
Oh, NBK
Okay.
is going to be going down here. Yeah, he does go for the Unbound Soul, but what goes out must come back in, and Dilly does secure his 3rd kill of the game. So honestly, if we're hoping for Elysium, all of their kills on Dilly is exactly where they want those kills.
Yep. Actually, I think you want all of those kills on CZI, if I'm being real here, to be honest with you, in this early game.
Like team fights are already a wash, so you just Olaf side lane is their only hope, is kind of your thought, or?
I just think if Olaf's ahead enough, it lets you play these fights as well, right? That lets you, with Seraphine and Sivir, Olaf actually becomes someone who can play a team fight. We were talking, it's so hard to play into this, like, Mordekaiser and the Volibear and everything like that. Oh my god, he's 2,000 gold down on them. Never mind.
Who's 2,000
Maybe
gold
that's
down?
CZI compared to Volibear.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Volibear was obviously very
Yeah.
fed.
Yes.
So that's less a commentary on CZI, I think, and more a commentary on just very,
how
very
the
fed
games-
Volibear.
Yeah, and how the game's going, yeah.
But yeah, Haman Karn continuing to make his presence known towards this bottom side of the map. Keeping Dilly and Arrow on their toes down there. Go for a reset now. Still have a couple of minutes until the next dragon. Mountain Soul this game. That is pretty scary stuff. Watercat wander away from the bear this time around. Sings him a song. And the bear says, okay.
Yeah, I don't really know what Gus's plan is, just trying to camp down here in the bot lane. Maybe, I feel like Haman's just
Right,
gonna
I mean,
hit him.
normally Trundle would win this if you're even.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, Guster, you are not even right now. And that's going to be NBK and Haman letting them know.
Oh,
The Encore
no.
not going to find anybody this time around, and NBK with the damage. Oh, the teleport in for CCI as well. He pops the Ragnarok. He's trying to run down the support, and he can't even get
Dilly
that
just
much.
walked
Now
into
Dilly
RJ.
can't do anything. The Jinx already had the passive going, and Sivir is going to get out DPS in that situation every single time. That was an interesting location to go for a reset arrow, and we'll be able to trade one back onto the Mordekaiser was tanking the turret. But that is just going to be one more kill for the Jinx in the end. 8-0 now for RJ in this game. Just there, able to pick up the first brick as well. And I think all of the copium has been consumed at this point, Storm. We are fresh out. Elysium looking towards game 3.
Yeah, I think you might FF this game. It's 15 minutes. You can save some mental anguish for yourself.
Is that technically
'Cause
allowed in the Blue Water rules, the forfeit?
I don't know. I don't think... No, we're not allowed to. Never mind.
Could still kind of optimize the defeat by, you know, continuing to look for, you know, super aggressive fights and just, you know, making sure that Team Solo and Invade are accelerating as quickly as possible. I don't think there's any
I think
rules
that's...
against like soft inting or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that's worse for your mental, to be honest with you.
Even if it's like intentional, if you have the thought
Yeah.
process like, okay, we're actually just like trying to, that's still bad.
Yeah.
Arrow's gonna go in here. Does find a little bit of an engage onto a Karma. Axe is gonna be like a cool story, bro. My AD carry just wanted that scuttle grab. RJ is gonna be forced to cleanse, and now is in a really awkward spot. Gonna have to try to flash his way out of here as well. Does flash, still dies. So a big ol' shutdown for Dilly. That was RJ's first death of the game, with Dragon alive as well. In comes NBK, seeing if he can salvage this situation. But this should now be an Elysium objective. See Haman actually pushing in the mid lane at the moment. Looking like the jungler has already given up on the objective. Just wants to get some damage on that mid tier 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty solid win.
Pretty solid win for Elysium. Does, you know,
Yeah.
I guess arguably keep them in the game. And the mid tier 2 is not going to go down. Oh,
Winions?
yes, it is.
Winions.
There it is. All right. So, Team Solo Invade still going to be relatively okay with that. Obviously,
is Mordekaiser put Arrow in the Death Realm? Okay, hasn't needed to.
Yeah, yeah, he has actually.
No, just did at the end.
The end of the Leona. Oh, did he save it right to the... Well, that's a little bit of
Yeah.
range. He is going to flash away now. The fate's sealed to follow. NBK, though, not able to get the CC until he does get the Q3, but then is forced to snap back to the body. Guster trying to retreat now underneath the mid tier 3. Will be able to escape. Just the one casualty this time around as Arrow does go down once again.
Well, that's not the worst. Oh.
Certainly not. Pause coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, this one was very difficult for Elysium very early on. With that early play in the bot side jungle where there was the 5-for-1 situation that happened. And it was always going to be tough to come back from that. But it's just felt like Team Solo Invade has kind of had a lock on the macro once again here, 2 games in a row, Storm. They're just getting all these objectives. You know, at least Elysium were able to get that 3rd dragon to keep themselves in the game, but feels like Team Solo Invade are getting everything that they want.
Yeah, I mean, they're up 2 dragons to nothing. They have all of the grubs. They have the boot upgrades, right? They've claimed feats quite easily. Elysium basically have nothing going for them, right? The only thing they have is that they took that one mountain dragon because they were able to catch out RJ. But that's it, right? They're 5k down pre 20 minutes.
Even getting all of the kills, Dilly is still almost a full item behind RJ.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's not like, oh, Silver has gold back in base. They just walked out of base as well. For anyone curious, and they're like a full item down. It's Yuntal and a pickaxe versus Infinity Edge Yuntal, boots and a dagger. Like, it's like a 2.5k gold lead there. I'm guessing there's a huge, like, probably 2.5 gold lead in between the junglers. Mid lane is probably 1,000 gold. Like, it's just, there's no lane you have that's like comparable for the side of Elysium. Every lane is behind.
There's nothing they can really play for at this point. I mean, they're for sure already at the point in this game number 2 where they just need Team Solo Invade mistakes. And we saw one just a minute ago when RJ kind of got caught out there in the mid lane. So, you know, if that happens a few more times, maybe Elysium can still come back, but that's what they need. They need TSI mistakes at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And for Team Solo Invade, you know, looking at it from their perspective, obviously things been going very, very well for them so far. So we are getting back into the game now, folks. So apologies for the delay, but returning now to the action. a reminder, we just saw that tier 2 go down in the mid lane, and that pick onto Arrow immediately afterwards. Currently sitting at about a 6,000 gold lead to the good for TSI.
Yeah. So yeah, it's can you claim any bounties if you're Elysium? Because Guster doesn't get to farm jungle camps anymore. That's not his jungle anymore. That's the enemy's jungle part 2.
Fortunate.
Yeah.
There's a red buff spawning right now. Maybe he could get in there for the red buff. He's gonna find some wolves here.
Wolves.
So there's something for the Trundle.
Yeah.
But he is very far from level 11 still. He's still tied. There's level 11 for the Volibear. Just ticked on over a bit, so about a full level down. And I imagine that's going to be another item completion for Amon Karn as well whenever he does decide to go back to the shop.
Yep.
And
building just straight full AP this game. No tank items in sight so far.
Yeah, again, I mean, when you get 2 kills 3 minutes in, it just doesn't really matter. Just can kind of build whatever. Although I will say, if we end up living in a world where Team Solo Invade make a bunch of unnecessary mistakes and Elysium somehow find their way back into this game, that Volibear build, I mean, he's going to be paper in the late game. He is going to, like, instantly die. So, something to keep in mind.
But don't think we're living in that world. 2.5 minutes till the next dragon of the game spawns. I think Watercat might get dove. That's my read. That we have a Volibear to shut this tower off.
We sure do. And he is going to do so right now.
Okay.
Watercat tries to flash away, does come out with a nice encore as well a couple
they're
of times, and Billy, the Sivir Meat Grinder, takes out the mid-jungle, and there's another death for RJ as well. Oh, what were we just talking about, Storm? Talking about TSI mistakes, maybe?
That was despicable.
They just weren't ready for the rotation. The rotation was really quick from Elysium. It was a great ultimate from Watercat to turn that play around, and Elysium just had the read on it. That is, Hax will survive. Hax will be the only survivor for nothing team fight Otacon for Elysium. That was a 6,000 gold deficit, and it is now cut in half, and it is about to be even less with the bounty. Right. Oh, I think the bounty may have just fallen off.
Oh, did they fall off because it's been a minute between the kills or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they don't get the bounty from the objective, but still, I mean, all of that experience from the Otacon, super, super valuable. It's about 1,500 gold, I think, in stats is approximately the value of that Otacon. So taking that into account, we went from a 6,000 gold deficit to 1,000 in the space of about 90 seconds. Are they back? Are they completely back, Storm?
I don't know, because Volibear built a rocket bell. What?
Oh my God.
Like, is he about to die again? Like, it's just that thing of, like, all he is going to now do is dive bomb and, like, instantly die after he's done dive bombing.
I mean, we saw it just now in that last fight. Like, as soon as they didn't instantly kill the Seraphine and Sivir showed up, like, the Volibear and the Yone both instantly died.
Yeah. And, like, CZI has a kill now, right? Like, he's got the farm lead because he's just been able to, like, sit in these side lanes and stuff. Like, oh God, this might turn into a game. This might be the counter throw that I didn't think was possible.
We'll have to see how this next fight goes. The dragon is spawning now, position in the river currently for Team Solo Invade as they look to start this one up. But group does 5. Elysium trying to move in. They get the stun onto Smoke, who's doing a decent job frontlining for now. Does go for the Death Rum. I believe that is onto the Leona.
Yeah.
Arrow not going to be able to win out in this 1v1, but I don't think Smoke's going to be able to get the kill either. So we're going to reset the team fight. Fate Sealed only onto the Leona. They do kill off Arrow, and now diving forward. Guster going to get taken down as well, and RJ kiting forward with the Jinx passive, and Elysium just forced to scatter. Watercat gonna get run down. Another triple kill for RJ, and it will be soul point for Team Solo Invade. They get themselves back into the driver's seat.
But without a Seraphine ult connecting, right? That's the key in every team fight is, can Watercat land these ults for his team? Because if he can't, their team can't play. But it's always that thing of the enemy team's going to funnel into you, so he should always be able to land them. Gus just unable to really be any sort of frontline for this team right now, right? Is just so behind. Hexplate now done for CZI. I wonder if that matters at all for these 1v1s. I really feel like he needs these boot upgrades. He really needs like swiftness boots just so that he can try and stick onto smoke.
All about the movement speed, right, for the Olaf,
Yeah.
that you can keep that ultimate running once you commit. You need to be able to continue to auto-attack in those fights. But I gotta say, Storm, just to go back to that last team fight one more time, I'm kind of confused, honestly, by what happened. You know, a lot was used by Team Solo Invade onto a Leona. I mean, that was Mordekaiser ultimate, Yone ultimate. It took them a long time as well to kill Arrow. And like, what was the rest of Elysium doing during that time? They just weren't able to counter-engage, or what?
Yeah,
Is Smoke now is
basically.
fighting against the Olaf, but
why did we not just kill him,
down.
CZI? Come on, bro.
I feel like he could have kept going there. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I guess you got his you didn't use Ghost and you got Flash, right? So that's the win.
Okay.
Sure.
Car now moving in, clearing out some vision. Baron spawning in a minute. Gold
Okay.
lead is back up to about 5k, so they've rebounded.
This is going to be a collapse. This is a big collapse.
No ult. Does have the Ghost, is going to use it. And the teleport in, yeah, Guster Posey on the way in. Smoke also without the ultimate. Oh, actually, he did just use it.
Yeah.
Now he's going to exit from the Death Realm and find himself in a very uncomfortable position as CZI does get the last hit on that one. So that's number 2, I believe, for the Olaf.
Yeah. And this should be a tier 1 tower here in the top lane. I mean, like we were talking about, there's no wave clear. I mean, we do see MBK splitting down bot sides. This should be like a lot of damage in trade, but I don't think this full tower goes down. We see Olaf and Leona sprinting down here.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. I don't think NBK has time to take the full tower. It's close.
He might.
He is going to stick around for it. Is that going to end up costing him? Does get the full gold value from the turret. CZI does have Ragnarok available once again, and he's just going to cut down NBK here. Oh, the Soul Bat actually is just going to spook CZI. He thought maybe there was somebody else on the way in. I'm on Karn. Oh, but the RJ already getting the passive going. Take down the heart of Elysium as Dilly was the first to fall. And that is going to be an easy cleanup for the Jinx. I think that was another triple for RJ. Really taking over in this game.
Yeah. 14-2-4 is a scoreline of an ADC who is healing themselves. That's unreal.
We're going to get the Nash off of that.
Yeah.
3-for-0 team fight again there. Easy pickup on the Nash, just less than a minute after it spawns. Already been taken down by Team Solo Invade. They had that one really big oopsie coming out of the pause, but besides that, it has been a very clean game from them.
Yeah. I guess it just didn't matter. I'm just still shocked that this game isn't closer, to be honest with you. It just felt like there was so many options for Elysium this game to be able to win this, and they're just getting absolutely rocked.
And again, I think a lot of those options unfortunately went away with that early fiasco in the bot side jungle. Like, when you fall that far behind that early, suddenly the game gets so much harder. You're piloting this composition with Olaf and Trundle, losing the early game. Like that, it's tough to come back from that. And the fact that you don't have a true carry in mid either, you have this supportive mid laner and the Seraphine. He's trying to build somewhat aggressively. He's got like the buff Horizon focus there, and maybe he's gonna go for either like a Death Cap or a Shadow Flame or something as his third item, but it just feels like the Seraphine is not really gonna be able to offer enough. And Team Solo Invade, they're just consistently getting the setup that they want, and again, they're just ahead.
I mean, I'm more worried about who the hell is going to stop MBK in the side lane, bro. That guy is like 3 items.
4 items for the Jinx.
Yeah, 4 items on the Jinx. Like, oh god. Gus, you can't step up, I don't think. I'm amazed that they're not just snapping on them, but I guess they're just going to go secure their soul instead.
Guster even didn't commit the subjugate. I thought he for a second,
Yeah.
but holding on to it. This dragon's already gone. It's already gone. They
Yeah.
couldn't even get to the pits. Clinical from Team
Yeah.
Solo Invade. They take
And
complete
RJ's
control of the
excited,
mid
and now they
lane.
just get to kill
They got
Arrow,
the
and now go
passive
kill.
from the objective. Yes, and now we just run down Arrow so easily. This could be the end of the game right here. I mean, they already have the Baron
Yeah.
buff for 45 more seconds still. And BK looking with the Unbound Soul. Finds Watercat.
He's gonna
puts the
three-shot
ultimate.
him,
The
doesn't he?
Seraphine is
Yeah.
just one shot. Goodbye. Good night, Elysium. They're going to have to reverse sweep now to try to get their way into that upper bracket final. Team Solo Invade looking like they are a cut above right now in this match.
Yep. I think that's a pretty clear way to put it. This game, well, game one at certain points felt close. This game was not close whatsoever. Despite the enemy team throwing basically as hard as they could, almost, like, they still lost the game in what, 28? I think that was like
29,
under
sub
30
29
minutes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. It was. That was a very decisive victory for Team Solo Invade. And honestly, across the two games, I feel like Team Solo Invade have been winning for like at least 95% of what we've
Yeah.
seen so far. Like they've
Yeah,
just
they have.
been in have so much control. There's like that one moment in each game where Elysium were like, maybe they could do something. Maybe they have an angle here. But in both games, I felt like that was almost immediately snuffed out by Team Solo Invade.
Yeah.
And I think we have a pretty clear POG for the second one.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's RJ. Their scores pretty convincing. It's like you could make the argument that Hallman absolutely bossed that early game as well, though, right? Like,
yeah, but that was a
I
team
think-
effort, though. I feel like
Yeah.
that early fight. Like, yes, Haman got 2 of the kills and did a
Yeah.
pretty good job snowballing. He was getting aggressive with the counter jungling and this sort of thing. But Haman, I feel like, was almost just like given this game. Like,
Yeah.
oh, here, Haman Karn, have a free AP Volibear game. Have fun, enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, like RJ was the one doing the work in the fights. I felt like the positioning was phenomenal. The damage output was excellent. The Jinx just made it impossible for Elysium to play. And this is a scary Team Solo Invade. Like, this is when this team is at their scariest, when they've got both of their carries in form, popping off in these fights. You know, we had NBK with the Syndra Masterclass in game number 1, and now RJ with the Jinx Masterclass in game 2. And they've got all the pieces around them, supporting them beautifully. They're showing up to all these objectives, taking good fights. This team is so tough to beat when they're playing like this.
Yeah. I'm not really seeing a way for Elysium to come back in this. They have to be able to figure out a way, because, like, you know, it was game one, it was we're playing the early aggressive team, we're gonna get ahead, and then they didn't. And then this game two, it's like they still haven't played a real like team fight team, right? And they haven't been able to, because TSI are just drafting these things that makes it impossible to play into. Like, how do you team fight against that team in game one, right? Like that comp of like the enemy team has like 3 of the best scaling characters in the entire game and 2 utility champions. I don't think you want to team fight into that. I like fully support what they did, but like, and then in this game too, how the hell are you going to team fight when your team like literally throws the early game away, right? Like, they didn't just like gently like toss it or whatever. That was like a full court, like throw the basketball as hard as you can, like type of like thing. Like, that was absolutely disgusting. So there's got to be a serious mental reset, and they have to come in with like a very, very good game plan, because they are getting rocked.
Couldn't have said it better. We're going to go to another quick break, guys, and then we'll see if Elysium can find their way into this series. Okay, folks, welcome back. We are soon going to be getting underway with our Game 3 Champion Select. And we touched on it, towards the end of that Game 2 discussion storm. Couple of big things that I'm looking for here in the draft. I think we need to see Elysium draft for Teamfight. You need to match Team Solo Invade around these objectives. You can't just allow them to be getting these first 2 dragons for free. That's just not a recipe for success. And it's sort of in that vein as well, I think we need to see CZI on a frontliner, on something that can team fight. I mean, like we've I think liked the spirit of both the Gwen and the Olaf in the previous drafts. But the fact of the matter is, he just hasn't been able to make these side lane picks work. And I think Elysium, they just need to go back to basics. They need to get down to the fundamentals and just try to group up and fight their way back into this series.
Yep. You just need time, I think, to keep the mental and just play safe, play the team fight. The enemy team has picked Ashe. That means you are locked in that you can play something that's actually a good AD carry. You just have to run cleanse. What good AD carries are left? I don't know, because Jinx, Aphelios is banned. Some, there's. I feel like there's a lot of spicy stuff. Yeah, Varus is up. Bro. Bleh, I hate that. Anyway, I've always talked about this, right? I'm the Kog'Maw guy. If I'm always advocating it's a Kog'Maw angle type thing. I still think Jin's quite good. Kai'Sa's available, right?
Sure. Kai'Sa could really struggle in the lane against the Ashe, and one thing that the Ziggs does do, if it does end up going in bot lane, is it kind of neutralizes the laning power of the Ashe, right? So, in that sense, I can kind of see it. I'm pretty sure that Dilly has a number of Ziggs games under his belt as well.
He does.
And
Watercat
are going to get the AD carry in the mid lane.
Yeah, Watercat is definitely the core heat player normally on this team. It's not Dilly. I have seen Dilly Valkyrie into too many towers.
He's had his Porky card taken away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's had his flying license revoked.
I was expecting that Emilio to come through alongside the Ashe. That is such a strong 2v2. Again, maybe the Ziggs can just neutralize them. He's just going to be able to farm from range, but now you're thinking about like Ziggs getting pushed in and losing plates to Ashe Emilio. That doesn't feel good for Ziggs.
Yeah, and I mean, like, what do you pair with him? Like, Karma's gone, right? Like, there's the Zyra. Oh, Senna. Is this a real thing? Senna Ziggs? Apparently it is. That sounds bad.
How does this gonna work?
I don't know. Ziggs clears all the minions and Senna gets to click on lots of souls.
Okay. Yeah. What about the team
I don't know.
How are those gonna work?
I think there's gonna be 2 really beefy boys in these last 2 picks, and if there's not, this game's Jover.
Yeah. One other thing that maybe is a little bit concerning is the fact that there's a Vi over here locked in for the side of Common Karn, and he's going to be able to basically choose his carry that he wants to destroy, and they're all going to be pretty vulnerable to getting clicked on by the Vi. Maybe less so the Senna, because she has smoke, right? The mist, that's like a favorable interaction where you can kind of like, and she can save actually her other carries as well, theoretically, if they're all grouped up together, so none of them could then be clicked on by the Vi. So, maybe that's part of the thought process with the Senna R3. We'll see what to round things out with. We've got the Poppy and the Cassante banned away by TSI. I think those are some very intelligent bans. Get some of those frontline options removed, and the Mel and the Victor, a couple options that would be difficult for the Corki to deal with, are going to get taken away.
Yeah, I'm looking at like a... Oh god, that was not what I was looking at. I was looking at like Skarner here. I think seemed pretty good. Or Sejuani with no melees. I don't know, bro.
That's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. Those Elysium composition is like It's like throw a bunch of shit at the wall, a random bullshit go kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
don't know. Oh, it's the set for smoke. The smoke
Yeah.
sets.
because you can
Oh,
just pick that because you know there has to be a tank on the round 5
oh
pick,
my
right?
God. Yeah, and CZI is just now going to be forced to pick a tank into set.
Yeah.
Oh no. And they obviously picked red side here. Oh. Zareth. Okay, NBK is going to go for Zareth. Yeah, I mean, that outranges the Corki, and we know
Yeah.
this is another NBK pick. We've seen him pull this one out before as well. And you can follow up on the Vi engage with the Zareth. You can follow up on Ash arrows with the Zareth. Seems good.
Yeah. I don't know what you picked top lane here, bro. Good luck.
There's nothing good.
The Rock.
Okay.
The
Over
Rock's
Malphite.
fine.
Sure. I mean, Ash and
That's
Zareth
good.
can
Yeah.
be Malphite ulted, theoretically.
It's good into set generally.
Is it?
Yeah. Because set punches you and you don't get punched very easily.
Oh, right, because you're punching a mount. Yeah, okay. I can see
Yeah.
how that would be favorable for the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess
Yeah.
the attack speed slow is
yeah,
actually like extra annoying for set as well because
It
he does
is.
like punch
Yeah.
and his punches are slower. Okay. So that seems pretty good. I don't think it saved the draft for Elite.
Yeah, I will say whoever Vi ults, the Morgana shield interacts with that, right? That she doesn't actually knock up whoever, right?
Right.
So
But what
that's
if,
pretty good.
like, Vi just doesn't ult and you're just like pelting them with Ash and Zareth poke?
Well, that's what
nobody on Elite-
Malphite is for.
Okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, when Malphite goes in, Elysium also have a lot of long range follow up.
Yeah,
Right? They've
they
got
have Zigzar.
the Senna. You have Corki Rockets, very long range.
Morgana can root whoever they ult as well, probably.
I
Hopefully.
can conceive of a team fight
Yep.
that would go well for Elysium. That's something that I can envision. It just I've not sold Storm. I'm not buying what they're selling.
Well, it is this thing. If this game goes to 40 minutes, I'm favoring this Elysium draft, aren't you?
Fair. That's pretty fair. Senna is
Yeah.
just one of those champions that is becomes like a walking war crime in the late game.
Yep.
So,
And so does Corki.
yeah, and Ziggs as well.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, last game was a sub 30-minute win for TSI. I don't think they're getting. How are they?
Yeah.
They have no early game. They actually have 0 early.
But they have lots of wave clear. They have Morgana wave clear. They have Ziggs wave clear. They have Senna wave clear.
Okay, and then what about the fact that Team Solo Invade are going to stack all of these dragons like immediately? They spawn.
That's not my option. That's not my job to figure out, is it?
Hope that they forget about dragons for 20 minutes. Is that the
Yeah,
game
I was about
plan?
to say. I think the game plan is you somehow sneak one of the first 2 dragons.
Steal one with
a
the
vital
ultimate to save the game.
Yeah, Ziggs ult on a dragon, plus Morgana Q. I don't know, bro. We have to get an early dragon, and we have to get grubs, because the enemy team can push really hard with set in the side lane. But yeah, this game's cooked, bro. TSI for the win. 3-0, I guess.
Looking like 3-0 on my screen, Storm.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, we could break it down even more. Team Solo Invade, winning bot lane, hard winning bot lane.
Yeah.
Mid lane, somewhat even, I guess. Maybe Corki is probably going to get like the push in the early game, right? If somehow Watercat is going to be able to find some impact on the map with the early push, maybe that's a way in for Elysium. And they did get the counter pick in top lane as well, but I don't think they picked Malphite to like hard win the lane. Like he's a good answer into the set, but he's not going to be like a point of power on the map for Elysium in this early game. So does it have to just be Watercat? Is it like Watercat carries the early game, and Elysium somehow lasts to like 40 minutes and just outscales? Is that the game plan?
Okay. To me, it matters a lot what runes we load into the game with here as Malphite. If this is Comet Malphite, okay, it's cooked. He can't win. But like, if this is Grass Malphite and like Emax, and we build Frozen Heart into set like you're supposed to for the individual like lane matchup, and it's really good against Vi because you're against full AD topside, right?
Yeah.
That is an option, and you can actually like win that, and you should have the push and everything. So that gives you maybe some sort of angle where then you're able to push them in and then TP and get the angle to flash ult and like absolutely sack your tower to ensure your team gets a dragon so that the game lasts longer. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
But
I do assume that Smoke is also going to be in that team fight, however.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, CZI's teleports have not been the greatest this season, whereas Smoke has been much more proactive with them, I would say. I don't think Set has a very easy time in these team fights. Like, most of the people on the enemy team are hard for Set to actually like stick on top of. But if Ashe slows them and Vi ults one of them, it becomes much easier to punch them if they can't move.
Also.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and honestly, like I feel like Team Solo Invade. I mean, there is a lot of poke, so maybe they do need to engage. Do Team Solo Invade need to engage? Because they match a little bit of the poke with the Zero.
Yeah.
Right. But most of their composition for the side of Team Solo Invade is actually kind of built around engage, and that could prove to be a bit difficult.
Yeah.
So maybe it comes down to who gets the positioning. If we have like the Corki Prio and the Malphite Prio, Elysium are able to parlay that into positioning around the objective early, before the objective spawns, then maybe, we're in a difficult position for Team Solo Invade where they're trying to force their way in, and like Elysium are kiting back and they have all this long-range damage to chunk out Team Solo Invade as they're trying to move in. Maybe that could work out well for Elysium in that kind of situation.
Right. We're just toughing like copium here, guys, just so everyone is aware. But
such a crazy draft. Like, if this draft works for Elysium, then at that point, all bets are off for the rest of the series. Right? Like, we just don't know at that point.
Yeah.
But I'd be surprised if this draft works. It feels like, like I said earlier, they're just throwing a bunch of crap at the wall. Like, all right, Malphite counterpick, Morgana counterpick. Go, Senna counterpick.
I feel like the pieces are all kind of here. It's just I don't know how this all fits together. These are like, if you're building a car, you have a really great engine in this car and you have some very nice wheels, but it's like you have like wheels that are like belong to a drag car, and you have a drifter engine and or a drift suspension on it with drag tires and stuff like that. Like, I don't see how this car is going to compete very well.
Whereas the Team Solo Invade car, how would you describe that one?
It's like a Honda Civic. It just kind of fits. It's not very exciting in a lot of. Yeah, it's just reliable. It's they're playing the comp of, we're going to kill one guy very, very dead, right? We're gonna press Ashar into someone or like Vyar, and then we're gonna press Zerathar on top of that person, and they're going to die very, very quickly.
Well, let's see, guys. Last chance for Elysium. They will, of course, the loser of this match does still have an opportunity in the lower bracket, so it is not elimination. But Elysium, they need to get the engine running right now. Try to come back in this upper bracket final. We'll be right back. Game 3. Alrighty, folks, welcome back on to Summoner's Rift for our third and possibly last game of the night. Could end up being a real.
Oh god, it's Comet Malphite. I'm crashing out.
That is what
Sorry.
we want to see. A triple combo back to the side of Elysium. The other two comments make a little bit more sense.
Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, yeah. It's this thing of, so I don't know if everyone else knows this, but Set's passive really rewards him because it gives you built innate regen. So he's actually like fairly decent in getting poked out. It's just the issue if he can't punch the poke champions because they generally run away from him. That's why like Teemo's good into him. Just a nice cheeky little ward there. Oh Gus, okay. Nothing's gonna happen, just get some free autos.
Yeah, I meant because Morgana jungle, you can't start Q, right?
No,
If
you have to start
you can't do
W.
your first that's right.
Yeah.
And Haman, probably knowing that, was unafraid. Walk into the jungle, that Raptor ward down, no problemo. And looking at the other side, Elysium, really able to get any early information for themselves whatsoever.
We got our first stack of the Q, or of our mana flow ban for CZI. That's good. But
Comet proc.
yeah. Anyway, I just feel like this means that he's gonna like actually be pointing points into Q and stuff like that. I'm just assuming he is.
Yeah. Malphite is, yeah.
Yeah. So he's probably not gonna win out and have like the push factor in this 1v1.
Well, the Ziggs and the Senna down there are off to a decent start. Still level 1, obviously, so it's not really meaning anything right now. But RJ, as we can see, is already chunked down to about half. So the Ziggs, you know, is already showing some value in the lane here. Top side start for both junglers, pathing down towards this bottom side.
That also makes a lot of sense. I don't imagine that there's a lot you can do in this game as ganking Malphite.
Yeah.
Does not sound like it's going to be very useful.
Sound very useful at all, no. We do see that early priority coming out from the Corki as well, like we predicted, so I was able to get that late ward down onto the enemy Raptor camp, so there will be that information for Elysium. They now are aware of Haman's pathing.
And if CZI can pick up all this CS, he is going to have a CS lead. Will he do that? I doubt it.
He's doing okay for now. Okay, nice with the Q. Oh, that one's... Oh, yeah, the W for that one. Gets almost all of that. It's that last caster, but it's pull ahead by a whopping 3 million.
Yeah.
Smoke, though, gonna come in here, finds the face breaker onto the Malphite. Haymaker gonna land as well. CZI chunked down to about 300. Potion ticking.
I'm just saying, bro, this was the Sejuani top angle.
Yeah.
We were joking about it, but it is like the original reason why this started being a thing was it's like the most disgusting set counter pick you've ever seen.
Guster moving over.
RJ.
Nice binding onto RJ. Who's in a really rough spot. Just gonna get burst down. First blood for Arrow on the Senna. Water Cat. You know, have the prio as well. Ooh, messed up the Q flash combo there on the bind. Another binding is going to land on NBK, and it's a kill for Dilly. And Elysium are out to an early lead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Copium is... Yeah. Just land the bindings. Kill them.
Jungle's just OP, I guess.
Yeah. And this should be a double scuttle, I guess, for Morgana. He even gets to drive by onto the smoke.
Top gank instead. Yeah, Smoke very far up right now in this lane. Gonna find another decent trade onto CZI and then realizes, oh no, there's a Morgana here. What do?
Yeah, and he used his Haymaker already.
He's just dead here. He has no way out at all. And Guster's gonna go ahead and pick up that kill. Feat of Warfare for Elysium, 4.5 minutes in. They are doing stuff, Store.
Yeah, they're doing a lot. They have like a big gold lead for 5 minutes into this game, right?
1,000? That's huge.
Yeah, it's almost 2,000. Like, wow. Okay.
So I guess now we just have to throw that entire draft conversation completely out the window, reassess everything now.
Smoke, bro. Okay, we don't have to watch this anymore. Oh god, he's missed so many CS.
Oh, the mental maybe taking a little bit of a hit.
Yeah. Oh
Potentially.
no. Almond just
Oh
used the.
my goodness.
Oh
No,
my
the
god, we
Raptors are gonna
missed.
block the binding. Oh, no, he's all right. Hey, why are we walking? Oh, he's gonna be able to
You
smite away the
smite.
Raptor. He did get it, I believe. Haman did.
Yeah. I guess the scuttle's also up in the bot lane for when he wants to go over to that.
It is. I think he's not actually aware that the scuttle is still
Yeah.
available. Had to hightail it out of that river before, so it doesn't actually have that information that South Crab is still available. Dragon up as well, and Team Solo Invade, after losing that early sequence, are hesitant to go for the early objective, like we've seen in both of those previous games. They have been slowed up quite a bit in this early game, Storm, and that plays very nicely into the composition that Elysium have drafted.
Yeah, we've been talking about it, and we were saying that, you know, this game goes to late game. Elysium wins, like, every time. I don't even think it's a question, right? Like, unless
Yeah, I have so many
TS
threats.
Yeah, unless TSI has, like, an overwhelming lead in some way of, you know, Soul or, you know, has gotten Atacon as well, or has some sort of major advantage, like, they have so many threats on their team. They have the easier to execute engage in a lot of ways. They have answers into the enemy team engage. Like, as a 5-man death ball, Elysium should win if this game is late. But it's just the TSI mid game should be so ridiculously powerful that I'm really thinking the MBK on the Xerath towards the mid game is just going to start like destroying people. Like Ziggs and Senna have atrociously low MR, I know. I believe so does Corky, that's how they keep trying to get him out of mid lane, is they keep going, here's your MR number, we're going to shave some of that off of that.
Yeah.
Morgana's MR is actually pretty decent, even though it shouldn't be, because she has Black Shield. That's kind of the concession of that. And Malphite famously is great at building tank resistances. Generally, it's armor, but you know, you can always throw in like some of that Abyssal Mask as always my kind of go-to MR item on Malphite.
I mean, that would go super hard this game.
Yeah,
Imagine your Malphite ulting in with Abyssal Mask, and you've got Ziggs ult coming in over the top.
Yeah.
One-shot an entire team.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, so, you know, as far as Team Solo Invade side of things,
yeah.
Smoke has been winning out in the top lane so far. That's kind of whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you're against Malphite. CZI, he's got a Bomby Cinder there in inventory, so it looks like it is going to be the full tank Malphite, which I think we're expecting and we're happy to see.
I would have rather have seen a Frozen Heart, but whatever. It's who cares?
Yeah. As long as you're building the resistances, I think that's the main thing. The thing that's really concerning for me, from what we've seen so far, for the side of Team Solo Invade, is the fact that their Ashe Melio lane to be getting bullied a little bit at the moment by Ziggs and Senna, and I feel like that was kind of telling as well. How RJ was just kind of like walking up into the river, like in his head he just had the prio, and he was like allowed to do that, right? But in reality, the Ziggs and the Senna were going very even in that lane and were able to immediately answer and punish RJ. So that's kind of where I'm looking right now for the side of Team Solo Invade is they, I think, need to wrestle control of this bot lane away from the Ziggs Senna, who are just going to get stronger and stronger as the game goes on.
Yeah, it's that thing of like Hammond should be able to impact this bot lane and this mid lane quite a bit. There is a lot of like things to play with that, like, you know, Vi brings the CC, and there is the damage follow-up from Ashe and from Melio, right? They have that slow to kind of stick around on top of their targets. Xerath has all that damage and has follow-up CC as well with that shocking orb. Is that the name of the E?
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Yeah. Right? So there is so much for Hammond to be able to do this game. That's why I talked about in the break, I was really worried, because if Hammond doesn't do a lot, because they are Vi, right? Like, you're not a scaling threat or anything along that way. Your whole job is basically to be a dive bomb kamikaze. That's how Vi works. You build lethality, you click on one person and they die generally. So
I mean, you don't have to build lethality. Often Vi will go with bruiser items like Trinity Force, Sterex, Sundered Sky, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Although in this game, you know, with so many squishy champions on the enemy team, I think this would be a decent lethality Vi angle. We'll see what he decides to go towards.
Okay.
But
I'll just
we
say
are-
I'm a hater when Vi is building that way because I think you're just doing your job worse because you still just queue in and die, but you don't do as much damage when you're doing it.
I disagree, Storm. Vi is my highest mastery champion, and in the right situation,
That's
she
fair.
can definitely scrap. But Amon Karn, oh, that dragon went down to like 30 health, but RJ is going to be able to get it. Now the Ash, trapped in the pit.
Flash
Gonna have
out
to
of the
flash
pit.
out of here. Yeah, does
Okay,
burn it
thank
in
you.
time. And Binding is going to connect over the wall, but going to be pretty tough for Elysium to follow up on that one. So in the end, just a flash off the Ash and dragon for TSI.
Is Set building a Hearthsteel?
Possibly.
Okay, sure. I mean, I think that's mathematically correct or whatever. The kind of joke Set build is.
Yeah, because you scale off your own max HP, right? Is
Yeah,
your,
bonus HP.
What is
your
it?
W.
The W? Yes, that's right.
Yeah, True Grit.
Big old haymaker.
Yeah.
But you know, and we kind of touched on this earlier as well. The Set is really gonna struggle to team fight this game.
Yeah.
He's coming from like a really surprising angle and catches Elysium off guard. A lot of targets, very difficult to close the distance on. Here comes Haman Karn. He's going to close the
I
distance
don't
on
like
this now
this.
fight, but CZI has ult and flash, so he should never die here. And even has a ward, as you can see in the pixel brush there as well, so I had full
And
information.
the wave's pushing into him, but this is just a setup that we're doing this that we can get Smoke over here to help us out with Grubulons.
Cat could get Cryo and get the move here. That could end up being really big. First grub is going to be secured by Haman. Here comes the Corki on the flank angle, but Xerath is moving over as well. That is going to be 2 grubs secured by Team Solo Invade, and they're going to say that's enough. That's all we needed. We got the credit towards the feats with the 2 grubs, and they're feeling pretty good about that.
Yep. Huh. Okay. So what did we get in the meantime? I mean, I guess this bot lane is going to get some plate cracking going. That's fairly useful. But
I mean, notably,
nothing...
neither... Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, nothing really big for the side of Elysium from that, but just extending the gameplay out, right? There was no big loss from that in any way. So that's kind of a win for you, but it's just that thing of you kind of need to get something, right? Whenever the enemy team's doing something on the other side of the map.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we are seeing the Ziggs and the Senna continue to win out in the 2v2. It's not like RJ and Hax were roaming up towards the top side to help out with the grubs. They were just losing the 2v2 to Ziggs Senna during that time. So, Haman Karn? This is a very aggressive line to take.
Yeah.
He has the light of the arcane going over the top. The Black Shield times out the season to set up for NBK. And the mid laner knocks it down. Smite good from the Vi as well.
RJ?
Takes away the blue buff. Our cat.
Yeah.
Trying to be annoying. Valkyries does still get hit by the Arcano pulse there. Really well played, honestly, by Haman. I was very nervous when he decided to go in there, but played it out intelligently. Waited for the Black Shield to go down so he could get the CC from the ultimate, and NBK was ready to follow up.
Was played that really well. It's why this like counter pick sounds so good on paper of like Morgana into Vi, but this is kind of how I feel it works in actuality is like you just kind of don't press R on Vi until the person dies, and if she like doesn't Black Shield when you press Q on her, you just chunk her so much and you're already on top of her that you just get to start punching her. Okay. Taking stock back into this game. It is still a 1k gold lead for the side of Elysium, right? They have that going for them.
Sure, back on ward right now. Information SI. Some more resets coming through. Hacks can stop those recalls. Very annoying. Not done by the melee.
Yeah, can we click on Malphite? Have we maxed Q? Or yes, okay. Never mind. That was a silly question, Storm.
You already knew these.
Yeah, I did. I had hoped, man.
30 seconds on the Dragon, and Watercat severely chunked without the teleport as well. This is looking suspiciously like another double Dragon situation for Team Solo Invade. Oh, and the W gonna land. The Shocking Orb. Oh, it lands. Oh, but the Valkyrie buffered just barely in time there for Watercat. Oh my god, the raw Q, though, just coming out from NBK. Now Arrow just has to flash. He's got no follow-up right now. Now the flash in for Guster with the right of the Arcane. Already being shot, but NBK, he can't find the rest. Oh, the Crystal Arrow in the Ash, but the Xerath is down. The Binding gonna miss, though, onto Haman, who is able to Vault Breaker away from the Senna route. Just ends up being that one kill for Elysium. They actually preempt the play, they take down the Xerath, and now they are looking for their first Dragon. Really big here for Elysium. Looks like they're gonna get it.
Yeah, huge win for them. CZI as well. I talked about this, just comes down for one of these Dragon fights, just sacks his lane a little bit. Doesn't even lose all that much. I think he's gonna be able to walk back top lane, could even TP up here if he didn't want to give away any plates.
A couple of plates will end up going over to Smoke.
Yeah. Oh, RJ died.
Okay. He's just dead. He used the ghost as well.
Yep.
Not sure what happened there.
I'm guessing we got hit by a binding or something similar. I don't think we're going to win this plate war, though, because there is a Ziggs on the other team. And I don't think we're diving a Malphite either.
The minion wave is going to get cleared out, though. And now CZI with the Unstoppable Force gets the knockup with the minion wave cleared out. Smoke the Haymaker. Oh, ooh, okay,
Yep.
barely gets it off. And he's going to walk away from that one, just barely. They're in a comfy spot right now. Able to get that Dragon was really, really big for them. Denies the feat of Monster Slaying from going over just yet as well. Old lead at the moment. Report back in for Smoke, and Haman Karn waiting around. No ultimate for CZI. Does still have the flash. Maybe gonna have to use it here. Gets the movement speed. Decent assist. A lot used to try to take down this Malphite. He will use the flash. Haman Karn just continuing to punch the mountain, but it's not really gonna do a whole lot. Although they might be looking for this turret. Guster is here to try to defend against the first.
I think that's the play. They're just going to try and hard force this in their face. They have Demolish.
He gets the Demolish proc. The turret is going to go down. That is first brick now. Guster Posey with the Soul Shackles, but just gets dunked by Smoke. And now right to the Arcane coming in over the top as well. CZI, nothing left. The mountain will eventually be felled. They just eroded him away. And that is going to be a big chunk taken out of that lead as Team Solo Invade are not willing to let go of this game just yet.
Yeah, but this should be a tower going down here in response now for Elysium. I mean, that's not the worst thing for them. Feats are still up in the air, right? They haven't been claimed by either side.
Two neutrals for Team Solo Invade and one neutral right now for Elysium. So they would have to get the next two. That's looking like probably the Rift Herald and the next Dragon would both need to go to Elysium in order to get themselves the feats. But this Ziggs is getting very, very fed. This Ziggs is going to be a problem for TSI to try and deal with.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that we've rushed Blackfire Torch on both Ziggs and Morgana. I feel maybe one of them should have just went the other burn item, because I believe that's how the interaction with these items works. Just like in ARAM, how it was always really annoying because everyone on your team would just stack Leandries, and it would be like, guys, this doesn't work like that. It just...
You only get one stack of Leandries.
Yeah.
They don't all proc on each chin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Haman Karn's going to choose not to go in with that Vault Breaker.
But MBK has secured a blue buff now, and I feel like this is just going to be shooting gallery time onto Arrow and people like that.
Crap, secured by Karn. Gets the scuttle. Dilly in a little bit of an awkward spot. Gonna be able to make it back into the mid lane. Underneath the turret. I think going to land onto just Smoke, and in goes Haman Karn. The Black Shield a little bit late, but does come in time to immune the ultimate. CZI finding the ultimate onto 3. The Mega Infernal Bomb a little bit late, though. They are going to be able to take down Haman Karn. CZI, though, getting pulled in by Smoke. But a lot of damage now starting to come out from Elysium. The Haymaker not really going to find that much value. And it's just the one kill. Ooh, that finally gonna miss.
Gonna
Oh, now
die.
Buster gonna get blasted by NBK. Looking for Dilly, the last blast. Double kill for the mid laner. Looking to take over once again here in game number 3.
Yeah, and this was kind of my worry, right? And I had talked about that. I think it's going to be another big game for NBK. Like, how does Elysium ever touch the Xerath? Unless it's Malphite, like, I don't think anyone else on this team has the range to get near NBK this game.
Hey, yeah, I think you're right. I think these guys have to look for NBK in every single one of these fights. He is target number 1, most wanted for Elysium is that Xerath. The Ashe is not really going to be very strong. The Ashe is not going to be able to carry the fight by herself, most likely.
No.
They're relying on NBK to do a lot of the damage.
And this is Yuntao finish for Ashe. This is the more damage orientated, I guess, crit for this Ashe build instead of the random like smattering of items that we normally see this champion build.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes like Blade of the Ruin King and like
Kraken Slayer type thing.
Yeah. It just does feel like a higher damage option to go for the Yuntao Sierra Dragon. Being taken by Elysium. Remember, they need... Oh, the feats have actually gone over with the Herald going over to the TSI. They already got the feats of strength. Now they're looking for the Dragon Haman, though. Not going to be able to get into the pit. Dragon secured by Elysium. Binding not going to land. Water Cat on the side, not really able to find the rockets.
Look at all these waves crashing, man. Look at the top wave going down currently. There's bot wave just had a huge wave crash into it as well. And we're just A-ramming this game. And the enemy team has Xerath and Ashe. So they have a superior A-ram comp.
Maybe. Oh, it looks for the engage. Does find Xerath with it. NBK, though, flashes away. Survives the initial engage. Now the redemption to heal up. Haman Karn also has to flash out. Smoking a pretty big haymaker and pulls CZI away from the rest of the team. Right to the Arcane coming out now once again as well. Not going to take any heads with that Xerath ultimate, but CZI does end up going down. Now 5v4 on the map. Team Solo Invade thinking about sticking around to potentially take this tier 1 here in mid. But the wave clear is going to be there for the Ziggs. Watercat gets pulled in! What happened to the Corki there? He just gets deleted. Now the turret going down as well. Still flashing in with the haymaker.
Look at all the flashes. RJ.
From Senna. RJ going a little bit too deep there. Is going to end up giving 1 kill back over. Now NBK kind of far forward. Going to be able to retreat. So ends up being, I guess, a 2-for-1 there for TSI. They do get the turret as well. And they've taken the gold lead.
Okay, so 2-for-1. Mid tower went down as well, which is pretty big for them. Their siege kind of sucks, right? We talked about there's so much wave clear for the side of Elysium. And the siege for TSI isn't there, but that being down is so big for their team because it just means when, eventually Baron or Rift Herald or whatever happens, that there is just that extra time that they have now on every single fight because that mid lane tower isn't there. It allows them to get into this jungle so we can start prepping for some of these objectives.
Absolutely. And, while you were highlighting very appropriately, I think, the fact that Elysium... Oh, Watercat. Okay, he is not going to face check the Vi. He is, in fact, going to safely rotate in bot lane to clear up this minion wave. But you are correctly pointing out, Storm, the fact that Elysium sacrificed a lot to get that last dragon, but I feel like maybe it was necessary. I mean, now they are the ones threatening Soul Point to Cloud Soul for us this game.
I think Watercat... Okay. Just gonna Valk away. Yep, is fine.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Crit going down, though. Team Solo Invade, increasing the gold lead.
Yeah, is RJ going to get answered here? I don't feel like there's any sort of dive necessarily available to them. And it's just set free stack and Hearthsteel procs off Malphite here in the top lane, up to 99 so far. Building up that HP bar.
That correct math going.
Yep.
And next big fight, likely going to be the next dragon in about 90 seconds. And, you know, you were highlighting it earlier, the fact that tier 1 in the mid lane is now gone on Elysium's side should mean that the setup is going to be easier for Team Solo Invade. Let's see how they go about it.
I mean, there is so much poke available for Dilly and Gus that they need this dragon not to just get immediately started, right? They need their own advantage and numbers, but hold that thought. Okay, Hammond not going in.
Getting a little bit close to the dragon spawn, so if the Vi uses the ult, then wouldn't have it for the dragon fight. So, hiding their time for the setup. Control over the banana brush right now, and the enemy tri-brush. You can see a couple of control wards in position already for Team Solo Invade. Stay a little bit of a late reset for RJ, but he should be back in time. Later reset for Haman Karn. So there's going to be an opportunity here for Elysium to get in and clear away some of this vision.
Yeah, but that's Steric's Gauge now finished for this Vi, who's going to be able to try and dive bomb in and hopefully survive and draw some more iron target onto them. MBK gets binded.
Going to land onto the Emilio ultimate coming out from Hacks.
Yeah.
Keep his mid laner safe. It is a big tool down, though. Of course, Flash is available for NBK once again, is for RJ as well. Sure. Not the time just yet. Dragon 5 seconds away. Position for TSI. Firm control over the river. One ward, actually. Placed in there for Elysium. Oh, the control ward. Very nice. Goes down. They clear out that last vestige of vision. Come on, Karn. A little bit far forward here. Is going to get chunked. The Dragon started up. Teleporting for smoke. Should guarantee it.
Yeah, and CZI isn't teleporting. He's just walking in. They're looking for the fight after, I think.
Sure. Be able to find any stragglers. Wave coming in. NBK on the rotation. Oh, they do find actually a binding onto smoke. Not necessarily a primo target. They're going to get good damage here. Oh, Chankos rail for the counter engage, but only onto the Malphite. Redemption coming out for a little bit of healing. That mid-tier one did go down to the wave. Ziggs was able to satchel it, I believe.
Yeah.
Now both ones are down in the mid lane.
And New Guy is available to start getting attacked in the bot lane if either of these teams want to go for it.
Oh, Haman Karn going in with the Vault Breaker this time around. That is a lot of CC. The Infernal Bomb on top, and the buy is just gone. Huge haymaker, though. Smoke with the showstopper as well. Immediately, Guster goes down. CCI tries to flash away. And then BK with a long-range blast finishes off Arrow. Oh, the Senna. I think the Senna had flash there. Wasn't able to get away from the Zareth.
Did Dilly kill his team? Did he W set closer for the True Grit to kill everyone? I think he might have.
I thought Smoke just had a really good position, but I'm not sure. You could be right. And now this is going to be Otacon going over. No smite for either side. Teleport in for Dilly.
Dilly.
A rogue Ziggs bomb could actually steal this away. He does have vision there with a Scryer plant and some full health bars. This is a bit scary. Oh, NBK, they're looking to burst it down. They do get the Otacon, but now the resistances are gone. Hacks flashing away. Looks like they are only going to lose RJ. I think a price that TSI are willing to pay to get that Otacon, but boy, that ended up being a bit close.
Yeah.
Watercat now going to Alk on top of NBK, who is extremely low. The flash in, the shutdown over for the Corgi, but Smoke in the perfect spot to punish once again the Haymaker. Oh, but that is going to be a kill onto the Melio as well. Going to be a 2 for 2, or 3 for 2, actually. If you include the death of RJ earlier on. Elysium getting something off the back end of that, but still feels like TSI. Oh, CZI now, alone with the mid-tier 2, but come on, move over here.
Yeah. Oh god, this set is gonna start being a problem because he's almost at his stride breaker. And that's going to give him some of the sticking power that's going to allow him to just stay on top of all of these really squishy members. Probably is going to be able to upgrade his boots here as well. Nope, going to build a tunneler instead. Also wanted to point out Zareth has 3 items and completed boots.
Oh boy. He's very
strong.
Very strong. Yeah. Smoke is such an interesting player, right? We were talking about him a little bit. We had the chance to do, the lane by lane. CZI obviously was on the show, and he was definitely not shy about giving Smoke his flowers, right? Saying that, he definitely respects Smoke as a top laner. He considers him a very formidable opponent. Smoke is so interesting because, normally I feel like he is somewhat of a volatile player, right? Where he has really good games and then like sometimes some pretty bad games. He's been pretty quiet overall over the first couple of games tonight. Mostly just neutralizing the and Crystal Arrow is flashed by Arrow. There's good reaction from the Elysium support. Get away from that one. Probably would have been a dead Senna if that had landed. But this game, where I was going with that, Smoke now feels like this could be a really standout performance from that TSI top laner.
Yeah, no, for sure. I had mentioned it as well that he led the league in solo kills and solo deaths, right?
Yeah.
That it's like most games Smoke is not coming out of lane like being like 0-1 or whatever. Most games it's like 3-3 for this guy. So to just always have had the advantage this whole series has just felt like really immense pressure. This team's been able to get, and we're 45 seconds away from this next dragon coming up. Like this game's just going to continue like this. That these teams are ARAMing and they're grouping, and we're going to have to see how it works.
Right, Smoke looking for a position in the banana brush, but gonna get pushed away for now. Get a little damage on the exit here as Arrow's trying to harass the set as much as possible. CZI obviously with the ultimate available, gonna hold on to it for now. Looking for that Malphite ultimate on the NBK once again here. See if they're going to be able to pick off the Xerath towards the earlier stage of this fight. But already you can see that Arcano Pulse connecting onto the Senna, chunking Arrow down to about half. And he's just going to be able to keep layering these in. Finally going to land onto Smoke. The second to take a lot of damage, Haman Karn with a counter engage to try to cover for his top laner. Right to the Arcane, and he just deletes the Senna immediately. Mega Inferno Bomb doesn't really have the setup there. And now the cease and desist onto Watercat. Haman Karn sacrificing himself to take down the enemy mid laner. Guster Posey still alive as the only smite currently on the rip. But oh, look at this flanking Xerath, man. NBK is just taking over. Basically won that fight by himself, landing so many skill shots, doing such a ridiculous amount of damage. Tilly will be able to walk away, but that is Cloud Soul point now for TSI.
Yo, check this guy's PC. Like, oh my god, MBK is destroying these people. Did you see how close he was? Like, how good the timing was on that Zhonya's as well from, like, Gus? That was disgusting. That was within, like, a quarter of a second of his Zhonya's ending. That Q landed and killed him. Holy crap, this Xerath is a problem.
Yeah, I was starting to consider like a Smoke POG vote here in this game, but NBK is just kind of said, no.
No, yeah, that's mine.
Yeah. He's making sure that we are aware of what kind of voting needs to happen, assuming that TSI are able to close this one out. But it's not entirely over just yet. Remember, Elysium have a lot of late-game champions in their very unorthodox composition here, so there's still a chance that they can find their way back into this game. It does feel, though, like it is getting more difficult.
Yeah, I don't know what you do now, because it's that thing of you need to CZI send it and somehow find MBK, but he has Flash and Milio has ult and he has Redemption and he has the QSS item as well.
Yeah.
So
you know what I mean, you hit on it already. They need to burn Xerath's Flash before one of these team fights happens. Like, you need to make sure that he doesn't have that, or else I think there's just no winning.
Yeah, and now it's this thing of now Smoke is in the side lane, and I don't think there's any sort of answer you can make against him.
Oh my god, he's just gonna kill Arrow again. One more blast. Oh god. Oh, Haman Karn is looking pretty dead here as well. Never mind. He's going to be able to vault break his way out of that one. Break straight through the vault. And Buster is going to get pulled in. That is a very large set. And that is a very dead Morgana. And guess what's on the map, Storm?
Yeah.
Oh, TZI is going to be able to find NBK. There is the Flash now on cooldown. Xerath, though, looks like will survive. And Baron is going to be going over.
Yeah, I don't think we needed the flash on their Malphite are there. I think we were on range. But I guess you were just trying to get the shutdown for your team there was maybe the plan. I don't know. Maybe they're not tracking the flash timer for NBK either. It is hard to.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the thought process there for CZI was just like he was flashing in closer to give NBK less time to react to the ultimate.
Yeah.
But which wasn't enough. They weren't actually able to
Uh,
burst him down, despite the fact that the ultimate landed for the Malphite.
Xerath just bought a death cap on his reset. Like, fully.
Oh man, we thought he was doing damage before.
Uh-huh.
I think Arrow is legitimately
Oh.
going to get one shot now from one ability, and yeah, Dilly also is very one-shottable, as we can see.
Yeah. Okay.
And this Baron is going to transition beautifully into that next dragon as well. So
Yeah. Oh my god.
He's gonna. One blast. is all he
We've
needs.
missed.
Oh, okay,
We
Arrow.
missed all of them.
Okay, Arrow.
Nice.
Give credit to some Arrow for some nice dodging there.
Oh.
Okay.
Maybe feeling ourselves a little bit too much there. Maybe we should walk back to base.
Okay, this is heinous. This is getting a little bit nasty. Okay, there's another Malphite ultimate. They're going to be able to kill NBK here. That is a big pick, but they do lose Watercat for it. And Haman Karn, once again, not quite able to find the Q flash combo. But I think the team fight is already won. They didn't have their digs for this one. Oh, look at that from Smoke. Flashes to reposition. Gets them both with the face breaker. And Smoke is going to go ahead and put an exclamation point on the end of this series. RJ almost dies to the Ziggs bomb, but Dilly all by himself. I don't think even Ziggs has enough wave clear to hold against the Baron buff. Gets pulled in by Smoke, and that is the end of the series. None of us, nobody, expecting a 3-0 in this match tonight. But that is what Team Solo Invade have given us as they make their way into the grand final.
Yeah. And I thought this was going to be the only team that was going to have a shot at beating them. And they proved tonight that this series was not close. MBK looks like they do not belong in Premier. I think it's fair to say. I think that guy might be destined for Diamond Leagues at this point. He could go join Rutledge up there and have some fun playing with me.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
But yeah, that was an absolute like clinic by NBK. And they're the clear MVP, and that's who we're talking about, right? Because that, I mean, Smoke had an incredible game on that set as well. Did a ton. Hacks, I think, also deserves a lot of credit that game on the Milio. Like, this whole series has played quite well and has just been kind of an unsung hero. But that game was literally just your mid laner kind of went, hey guys, I'm way better and I'm gonna just prove it. And yeah, Elysium had absolutely zero answer into this Xerath. What a master stroke in the draft.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It was the Xerath was on B5 after he'd already seen all of these squishy champions, right? Elysium gone for all of this very strange like zero frontline composition. And you know, we were talking at various points during this game like, oh yeah, Elysium, you know, they've got all of this range. They've got like Ziggs, Corki, and like Senna's gonna have insane range, and like it could be tough for Team Solo Invade to like close the distance and like actually start these fights. NBK was literally just like a one-man army. He was out DPSing all of Elysium by himself. Insane.
He almost out DPSed his team.
Like his entire team combined.
Like he did 45k, and like RJ and Set, like who were like, wow, those two did great, did 40k between the two of them. Like, and his jungler only did 10k. Like he almost outdamaged his entire team. And he probably would have if that game continued somehow.
Crazy work. Yeah, what was the game time on that? I missed it actually on that game 3. When did it end? Can you see?
I didn't see you.
What was that? One more time, sorry. 33 minutes. So 45, almost 46,000 damage in 33 minutes.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That's a pretty good number. Like what, 1,300, something like that, 12?
Yeah, around there. Just an incredible performance from NBK in this one. And honestly, for Team Solo Invade, maybe a little bit personal this match.
Yeah.
You know, looking back on it now, is as we discussed it at the top of the show, Elysium last season. Remember, it was the 3-0 victory for Elysium. Back before we had double elimination, they just completely knocked Team Solo Invade out of the playoffs after TSI had been like the best team all season. Elysium just completely destroyed them in that semifinals in season number 1 of Premiere, and Team Solo Invade coming in tonight with something to prove, I think. A little bit of a chip on that shoulder. They let them know.
Yeah. But
Pretty
I
convincing.
don't really have anything else to say. That was just TSI just put on a
Much
clinic, and it's
say,
like
yeah.
they're gonna make it very hard to vote for someone to beat them in the grand finals, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, okay, let's take a look at the bracket here one more time. Wookie, do you have that bracket? Are you able to toss that up on the stream for us?
Yeah,
Okay,
perfect.
beautiful. Yeah, so taking a look at the bracket here, obviously we do now have Team Solo Invade have moved on into that grand final, and we're going to have Elysium going up against the winner of the match happening tomorrow, which is Omega versus Dorado. And yeah, between those 3 teams, Elysium, Omega, and Dorado, after what we saw today, yeah, I'm with you, Storm. I'm thinking Team Solo Invade pretty heavily favored against any of them.
Yeah. Um, be really interesting to see over who can come out next tomorrow from Omega and Dorado. I think a lot of us think that series is going to go to 5 games and should be super duper close as well. But be interesting to see how Elysium is able to bounce back next week and how they're able to come up and formulate a game plan, because they have lots of time to prep for whoever they're going to play, and whoever's playing TSI in the finals, who the carries are, right? It's not like it's some secret. I'm pretty sure we all know MBK is the guy to watch. RJ as well has been playing really great. Smoke's got his counter picks. Your team's going to have to do some homework, I think, to beat this TSI team.
Yeah. And, as far as what happens tonight for Elysium in these games, obviously there were, a couple of just like straight up whoopsies, but, for me, I feel like it's mostly just a read of, maybe Elysium just not recognizing what Team Solo Invade we're gonna go for. We can like chalk, I think, some of this series up to draft as well, right? The fact
Yeah.
that Elysium had these kind of unusual top lane options in the first couple of games made it more difficult for them to team fight and actually match Team Solo Invade when they're going for these objectives. And then game 3, obviously, we've talked that draft to death already, but it does feel like Team Solo Invade, they just they were able to get whatever they wanted in this series, pretty much.
Yep. I don't got very much else.
Good. I think we're good. Double POG for NBK tonight. So 1 POG for RJ on that Jinx game in game number 2. Don't forget, guys, as we just now mentioned, Omega versus Dorado. That lower bracket final is going to be happening, or lower bracket semifinal, I guess, right? Yeah, that's how that
Yeah.
works. That's going to be happening tomorrow. I assume you're going to be having Kimchi and Chong on that one, so do not miss it. From us here, myself, Storm, Wookie, the entire team at Blue Water, thank you all very much for watching. We will see you next week for the conclusion of Blue Water Premiere Season 2. Have a good one.